Hey guys. Oh god, no, it's the old one. Hold on. There we go. There we go. I fixed it. We're good. We're good. We're still spooky. It's still spooky. We're good. We're still spooking. We're fine. Welcome. I'm doing quick Minecraft today. For no real reason other than I've been doing homework all day and taking a lot of notes, and it's taken up a lot of my time, so I didn't have time to get anything set up. So we're out here today doing it this way because I said so. And honestly, that's the only rule, so because I said so. Wednesday we might do Little Nightmares instead. I know I said we'd probably do that today, but I could not find the time. So we're doing this now. Welcome. Let's go to MCC Island. Why not? Oh yeah, whoops. Only runs on 119. I'm on 118. Let's get on to 119 then. We're gonna get on to 119 Minecraft real quick. There we go. 119. Just gotta wait for that to load because Minecraft takes 30 years to load for some fucking reason. And we'll be golden. Give me a second to stretch. I've been sitting in like the same position for the past 3 hours. Okay, look. I need a minute. Ugh. God damn. Ah! Hit the mic. Ugh. God damn. MCC Island time. Ah! Cool. It is time. Yeah, we're playing craft again. Hell yeah, brother. Let's do some hole in the wall. Hole in the wall. I want to do some non-thinky activities today. Those are my favorite kind of activities. Ugh. God. Brain no work right now, okay? I needed a break. I needed the break. I can't think. Turn that up so I can actually hear what's going on. There we go. I needed to hear when they let me into the game. Assembler Stanley. Hey yo. Stanley. Ugh. Everything. Everything is not just so great. Oh shit, I bet a game. Adds attention to detail. They put a fan out on the side. Damn it. When we get out of the game, we're going to the fucking roof, because it said so. Almost forgot the stream. So did I. We're good though, I remembered. We're doing a boring normal map. Just cringe. Yeah. Feel sands in your bones. Hello. No. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. I don't know how the fuck that worked, but it did. I did it. That was low-key impressive. Damn it! Let's leave real quick. I need to check the dailies. See if there's anything for hole in the wall. Alright. Sky battle. Survive at least 30 seconds in 4 games of hole in the wall. I can do that. Survive 90 walls. Battle box. Battle box. You see, I could. Right. What if I don't? To the roof. The robot's gonna jump. Is there any way to get up there? I don't think there is. Tester Wallace. I found him. Oh, there are stairs to get back up. I thought there weren't stairs to get back up. Okay, so 30 seconds and 4 games of hole in the wall. Meaning I have to actually go to the end of each round, even if I die. That's annoying. Okay. Whew. I could do that, though. That'll probably be the easiest one. Also, the surviving 90 walls thing, that might be pretty easy. Come on. Woo! And I'm in. Welcome to Hole in the Wall, where I am in the wall. You're kind of sad? Ah, sorry to hear that. I'm definitely doing. I'm kind of tired. You use some of your stream as sleep noise. That's fair. That's fair. Woo! New map. New map. It's one of the new maps. It's the Snaky Boy. It is the Snaky Boy. Woo! Snake Man. Woo! Where the first wall come from? This side. Then you have Sunday practicing. What? Hold on. Can't read right now. Hold on. Playing your box packing game stream. Then had a really bad dream. You woke up and it was the fart trombone. It's the best kind of trombone. Woo! Whoops. Well, let's just stay here so I can get the reward. But yeah, that's just the entire game of Trombone Champ. Is this released or still in beta? It's still in beta. You can see in the corner it still says beta testing. I don't know how long it's gonna be in beta, but all I know is that they plan on adding more games, but they still only have 4 in, so I think it's gonna be a bit. Expecting you to pay attention to the screen. That's fair. We have our winner. Alright, we're back in the queue. That should be our first 30 seconds. Wow, look at them. Hyping each other up. Then don't I look extravagant. Dr. Eggman looking head ass. I was on the server once and that's just exactly what I was called. I'm not even kidding. I was just standing there because I was doing something. And I look at the chat and it was just pointless Dr. Eggman looking head ass. And I thought people didn't use the word head ass anymore just because, I don't know, old or some shit. Cause like, I haven't heard it in a while at least, so I'm betting that kid was like a middle schooler or something. But I was just sitting there like, Jesus fucking Christ. It was fun though. Sound a bit tired. Are your bones moisturized? No. And I am tired. I've been sitting, doing nothing but notes and homework for the past, couple hours. Look, I needed the break. This is my break. Haven't even ate yet. We're good, though. We're good. We're vibing. Whee! Oh, shit. Middle. I thought someone was flying for a second there. No, they were just on top of the fucking wall. That's weird. Okay. 10 hard-boiled eggs. I'd rather die. Thanks. 10 hard-boiled. I'd rather die, actually. Personally, no. No, I'm good. There we go. We stay shifted in this house, cause I'm gonna get pulled back. How did I know? How did I know? No! We're back towards fishing rod. We're back towards fishing rod. We're back towards fishing rod. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. Woo! Ah! Bro, the wall was glitching out too. Anyway. Time to man the station. Yeehaw and all that. Oh my god. I mean, 7th isn't all that bad. It's really not. It's not that bad. I'd say it could be worse, you know what I mean? Like, I don't get very in hole in the wall. Not for any particular reason, but just because I'm bad at it. So, I mean, I heard fireballs. Oh no. It was probably a Matrix theme. Fucking thing. My brain is fried, okay? Look, I still have so many things to do for school, but it's fine. It's fine. This is okay, because I said so. Game over! 3Q. There we go. We're in here, meaning the 30 seconds have counted since we've entered this room. I'm hoping, at least. Yes, the kitchen. Give me all of your snacks, please. This is no longer an ask, this is a demand. Walls getting burnt. They are dead. Ow. I don't know why I said ow. I didn't hurt anything. Oh god, it's the weird one again. This is gonna be iffy. How did they get a knife in their head? I want a knife in my head. How'd they do that? I want a knife in my head. So I decided to rewatch the Sonic fan dub, because I can. So now my brain is just filled with Memphis, Tennessee jokes. You know, the tilted towers and the Fortnites and such. Yeah. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. Ah! Was that 30 seconds? Was that 30 seconds? I hope it was. Anyway, back to Memphis, Tennessee. I was rewatching that, simply because I can. And I could. So now my brain is just random Sonic 06 fan dub quotes again. So that's fun. I don't know why I decided to rewatch them. I just went, yeah, this is something to do, and then I did it. I have no real particular reason. Whee! Fuck. Why am I missing? Everybody's trying to get their dailies done, huh? I feel that one. I'm also trying really hard to not get a Slime Rancher 2 spoiled for me. Like, I have the game, but I want to wait until it's in, like, a full release to play it. Because it's just one of those things where it's like, I don't want it to get spoiled. And I want to be able to, like, experience it when it's, like, full. Like, it's fully done. Because I know with, like, beta tests, things can be pretty fucking rough. Even if it's an open beta. So I'm, like, trying to leave it alone. But I'm, like, I really wanna. I'm not gonna, but I wanna. Batman. Fuck. What game is this one? Game 4? Oh, god damn it. We're on the weird map again. This one kills me, quite literally, every time. I'm jumping a lot. Yeah. Boing. 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 Is it gonna come back to kick my ass? No. No, it will not. Boing. Oh god, sandfall. Let me just get through as fast as I can. I hated that. Do not fucking touch me. How did I do that? This is fine. Oh yeah. Fucking, the Owl House starts up again at the end of this week. Season 3 starts. And I'm hype as shit. But I know for a fact I'm gonna have to avoid the internet for a couple of days. Because they're going to spoil it as it's airing and I don't have cable. I don't have cable. Or at least I don't have access to the Disney Channel. Because, you know, when I aged out of it, they were like, oh, we don't need this anymore. And then they got rid of it. But now I'm sitting here, like rocking back and forth, foaming at the mouth, fucking... Like, I am not doing okay. Saw the leak episode already? The episode wasn't leaked. Like, I know where to get it. I just, like, I know where to get it before Disney puts it on Disney Plus. Like, that's not the problem, right? Like, I know my sources. But the issue is, I don't know how long it's gonna be before they have it set up. I'm so good at holding the wall. Oh, I still need one? Are you kidding me? Whatever. I know, like, I have my sources. I know what I'm doing, right? Like, but I just don't know how long it's gonna be before I can get it on there. And it's gonna be at least in English. You know what I mean? Like, it might take a bit longer than I want it to. But I'm going to have to block the Owl House tag for the day. The show kind of lost interest to you? Well, I still have an interest in the show, so I am gonna keep talking about it. Because I said so. And apparently that was number 3, not number 4. Why are people saying hello to me? Go away. Hua. Make a resume of the show that you can remember. I have no clue what that means. Oh god. Ah! I was too busy. I was focused on Twitch chat. Oh god, what am I supposed to do? That was good. Yep. Harmless, but annoying. Whee! But, yeah. I'm really hyped about it. I'm really hyped. But I know for a fact I'm gonna have to block the Owl House tag on Twitter. And not, like, literally just not consume any Owl House content before it will be spoiled. Like, they are 45-minute episodes. This, like, it will not be fun for me, and me alone. I jumped. You heard me press the space bar. That's bullshit. But yeah, I'm hyped. I'm real hyped. Oh, you mean recap. It's recap, not resume. Resume is a different thing. But no, you mean a recap. Well, I guess, leave if you don't want, spoilers. So it starts with a character named Luz Nocera. She is getting sent off to a summer camp, basically boot camp, that's like, yeah, you can't have, like, any sort of originality, because originality bad. You gotta think more inside the box, because she's very, weird in that sense. And, you know, she really doesn't want to go because she really likes how she is now, and, you know, she knows it causes problem for her mom, and she loves her mom, but it's kind of, you know, it's a conflict of interest. So, right before, her mom sends her off, when she tries to throw out her favorite book, which is called The Good Witch Azura, a random-ass fucking owl just comes by and picks it up. And, when the owl picks it up, it flies into, like, this door in this abandoned shack. So when she goes in to chase it, suddenly on the other side, she sees a bunch of, like, random fucking demons. And the owl turns into a staff. Like, it's like it gets put, like, the owl turns to wood and gets put on top of the staff. So in her trying to get the book back, she runs to the front, snatches this book out of the person's hand, and tries to run, but the door immediately closes before she can get there. And, you know, hijinks ensue for the rest of that episode. But you end up meeting, the lady that was running that. Her name is Ida, and Ida is, like, kind of crazy, but, you know, she kind of meets Luz where she is when it comes to weirdness and everything, and, eventually along the line, you know, she takes her back home. She meets King, who is this, like, little baby, little thing, and also Hootie, the house demon, the demon that is quite literally the house. He is an owl, if you can't tell from the name, Hootie. And they decide, they go on a quest to get King's crown back, because King is the king of demons. The little baby man, he is a king of demons. But he doesn't have his crown of power, so he can't, he can't be all powerful and everything, and he's kind of sad about it. But only a human can open the door, so he suggests that they go and look for the crown of power in the Conformatorium, which is basically prison in this world. And so they go to the Conformatorium, they bust in, Luz sees the conditions there, and is like, this is not good, but I'm pretty much too weak to do anything at the moment. So they go to the door, they go through the door to where only the human can open, and Luz opens the door so King can go grab his crown of power. He goes to grab the crown of power, and Luz realizes it's a fucking Burger King crown. So, it really gave him no power, and that's when Ida tells her that, oh, it's just something that I made up so that he wouldn't lose hope, because, he's just a kid. He is a child, and I don't want to, break his spirits if this is what he chooses that he is. He deserves to have that kind of powerful feeling, because he's just a little thing. But the head of security guy comes in and, captures all of them and destroys the Burger King crown, quote-unquote, crown of power, and, fucking basically asks Ida out on a date, because, she's the wild witch, which is basically meaning she uses all types of magic instead of just conforming to one, and, she's constantly been able to evade the law, and he finds that very hot, so he asks her out. Ida says fuck no, and Luz hits him in the back of the head with Owlbert, which is the owl from the beginning. That's his name. The staff's name is Owlbert. And, they eventually get out, but you also learn Ida can remove her own body parts at will because she was cursed. She explains, it's just because of a curse. But as they're going back through, Luz realizes she's powerful enough to actually do something about the conditions there now. So she ends up while Ida's out fighting the main prison guard, and Albert's trying to get them the fuck out of Dodge, she realizes that she's got the power to get people out of prison. So she basically stages a giant prison break, and they all go out and beat the shit out of that one guy, and everybody kind of goes free, or at least the people that she managed to save. And then they go back home and realize, they don't realize anything. Well, okay, they go back home, and Luz, before deciding that Luz basically decides to stay with Ida and King instead of going back home, because she's surrounded by other weirdos, and she's always kind of loved the idea, oh, magic is real, and, maybe I can do it. So she decides to stay in the Boiling Isles, which is what she learns the name of her new land is. And that's the end of episode 1. From there, of course, hijinks ensue with all of the characters, but it ends up culminating in Luz realizing that she fundamentally, physically is not able to do magic. However, she finds a way by being able to do runes. And when she does these runes, she can basically do, artificial magic. And she's very excited by that, but she can only really do a light spell. And she, along the way, in defying Ida, because she really wants to go to this magic school to learn magic, runs into a girl named Willow, who's being bullied by another girl named Amity, and they're both on the abomination track, basically meaning that what they are studying is the ability to animate things, you know what I mean, think Frankenstein type shit, abominations, you know what I mean, but they're it's purple goop, for lack of a better term. And what ends up happening is Willow's abomination doesn't fucking work, but she also really wants to get back at Amity. So what ends up happening is Luz gets into this little pot, this kitchen pot, Like, it's pretty big. I don't know why I said little, but it's pretty big. Like, there's a pretty big pot. It's like a clay jar type thing. And basically replaces the abomination inside by covering herself in the goop, because Willow gets an A on the abomination, and Luz gets the ability to go inside the school and actually learn. So that's what ends up happening. And along the way, Willow introduces Luz, her new human, to another kid by the name of Gus, who's skipped a couple grades, so he's younger than the rest of them. But he is a human fanatic. He really likes humans. He's like always, he's basically what Luz is in her world, but the opposite, where she's obsessed with like the fantastic and the fantastical. He is really obsessed with humans and human like objects and stuff. So they're basically like kind of foils for each other personality-wise. And what happens is Amity finds out that something's wrong, because there's no fucking way Willow could have done this in her mind, and she's like the top student, by the way. So of course she's pissed off that Willow got a better grade than she did, and took like that top student role from her, because like that's what she was doing. That's her thing. She's the top student. So she ends up like pulling all of the strings, all the cards, everything is out on the table, to basically end up getting Willow's abomination, that is Luz, like dissected. And Luz is obviously fucking human, so that's not gonna work out well. But they end up figuring out, Luz is an intruder, because Amity kind of was like, this isn't a real abomination. And that's what they were testing by this. So then they shut down the entire school, and of course, intruder in the school, it's a wild fucking goose chase. And, Willow does some crazy, like, plant magic with like, vines and shit and everything. And that's where, she had stated before she wasn't really good at abomination and much preferred plant magic. But her parents would have always told her that there's really no, like, there's no job in plant magic, even though she really excels at it. But, they managed to get her out. Willow endures they managed to get Luz out. Willow endures the consequences of those actions, and Luz is permanently banned from the school. Like, cannot step on school grounds at all. And Willow gets put onto the plant track after some detention time. And life seems good for a while. Hijinks ensue with, of course, the Emperor's Coven, which is the name of, like, this royal guard, I guess, type thing that protects the, like the Emperor, right? Emperor Belos. And, like, you find out the main person going after, like, Ida and everyone is actually Ida's sister, Lilith, right? Like, they both wanted to join the Emperor's Coven, but that didn't end up happening because Lilith ended up cursing Ida, which is something, you're kind of told later on, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So hijinks ensue, and Gus, the guy from before, runs a human appreciation society at the school. Now, he brings in actual human artifacts that he has personally found, and this one new guy just kind of comes through and just kind of slaps everything into the side and say, like, that's not real. How do you know that's real? And brings out, like, these fake, like, he very clearly, like, had been slapped together, like, in the last period or some shit, and says, now these are real human things. And and Gus is like, oh, no, those aren't human things. And, of course, they get into a giant argument, and Gus brings up that he has a human friend. He knows a human. And they're like, oh, really? Then let us see the human. Like, bring her in. And, of course, Luz, as previously stated, is banned from being on campus. So, she physically fucking can't. So, Gus lies to Luz's face to get her back onto campus, but has to physically hide Luz the entire time. And something that you see throughout that episode is security has very much increased since her last stunt at the school. So, like, they have an entirely new, like, detention pit and everything. Yes, there's a detention pit. And, it's an entire thing. So while he's, like, trying to maneuver her through the school and throughout the day, you know, give her a tour, because she never really got a tour with Willow. The other guy, I'm just gonna call him Matt. I think his name is, like, Bartholomew or something like that. I'm just gonna call him Matt, though, because that's something I know for definitively. He, like, ends up catching on. This human was banned, so he tries to get, Gus, like, expelled or in detention or something. But they all end up causing trouble, and they all get thrown into the detention pit, which you find out is basically like a giant brainwash pit to I will not cause problems. And it's an entire thing. But Matt, the entire time, is like, I can do this. I was in detention so much at my old school. Like, I know what I'm doing. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He immediately gets knocked the fuck out. And Luz and Gus have to figure out everything. And they end up destroying the detention pit in the process. The monster that was there, they just fucking murk it. And Gus does end up having to step down because he murked the detention pit. While all of this is going on, you know, Ida figures out Luz isn't really gonna learn much from me. She might actually end up learning more than school. School didn't work for me personally. Like, she has a very love-hate relationship with school, because yes, it taught her things, but she hated the blind subservience of it all. So she ends, Ida, while all of this is happening, is going through, like, a laundry list of things that she needs to do, because she was actually, expelled from this school, just kind of fixing all of the shit that she did so that Luz could get a chance. And, you know, when all of this happens, of course, it's immediately like, yeah, no, we're not gonna take her, because, like, this is her problem, until Gus steps up and takes the entire fall for it, and basically fesses up that, yeah, he fucking lied. Like, of course, you know, oh yeah, forgiveness and all that. But between Ida and Luz, they have a conversation, and they decide, yeah, Luz can go to the school. So Luz starts at the school, right? That's like half season 1 done. So in that time at the school, right, shenanigans ensue, obviously. You see Willow, Gus, and Luz start to get a lot more close, and you start to see the character Amity from the beginning kind of start to soften up a bit as her and Luz interact more. I'm sure you are. I'm saying all this knowing for a fact you're not doing either of those things, by the way. Yep, yeah, you're not doing either. You just, like, kind of letting me ramble. It's fine, though. It's fine, though. But, you watched it, and... But, fucking Amity, ends up working at this library, right? You weathered it all? Sure. Amity works at the local library, and of course, Luz really likes the library because she likes to read and, you know, get knowledge and shit because she's smart. And while she's there, she notices that Amity works there. So in an attempt to, like, get closer to Amity, she tries to, like, help her out and do things, but she ends up getting involved with Amity's 2 siblings. And, you know, they're kind of bullies towards her. Ooh. I didn't know that they had an AFK hub now. Let's go. Okay. But, fuck. They end up, like, getting her to find Amity's, like, secret room and get her diary and stuff. Because, of course, you know, the older siblings are kind of bullies, so they make fun of her about it. And over this entire episode, Luz was, you know, finally starting to get close to Amity, and she's basically just completely blown off Amity's trust. And, you know, like, of course, you know, that fucking hurts. And she basically says, yeah, that hurt. I don't know why you would do that to someone. Like, that wasn't cool. And, you know, she realizes that eventually. But, fuck. I'm trying to get up there, but I can't. But, when she does that, like at the last minute, like, you know, Amity gets fired, right? But Luz kind of goes in and gets her job back, but, you know, like, she knows she fucked up, and, you know, that's kind of the start of their friendship budding, which is pretty cool. And of course, you know, let's get back to the Ida and Lilith thing, Ida and her sister, that's been going on in the background this whole time. So Lilith has been constantly tracking down Ida, trying to get her to join the Emperor's Coven with her, because Emperor Belos says, like, oh, I can heal Ida, I can heal the curse. And of course, you know, Lilith really wants to help her sister, but Ida's been living with it for a long time now. She knows how to handle it, and she definitely does not want the Emperor's help in trying to, like, quote-unquote cure her. She doesn't want to be cured. Like, she doesn't want it, which is, you know, completely fair in her choice. But Lilith really keeps on pressing it. So, after many attempts to try and get, Ida to join the Emperor's Coven, she basically gets told, you have one last chance to try and fix this. Because also, you gotta remember, Ida is the only wild witch left. And she doesn't abide by the Emperor's Coven system itself. The Emperor's Coven system is, of course, like the Coven system that I explained a while ago. Explained in quotation marks, but it's the same system that basically, like, seals off your other types of magic. Like, everyone can naturally do that, but when you join a coven, you can only ever do one. Because the other types of magic you can do are sealed off, and the reason for that is, like, it's, like, the Emperor, Emperor Belos says, like, when you do that, you hurt the Titan, because, you know, the Boiling Isles is, like, built on top of a decaying body of this old species called Titans. So they're on top of a Titan. And they basically revere Titans as, like, godlike figures. But, so... Fuck, where was I? Oh, yeah. So, like, Ida is the last wild witch, as explained. So she can do all types of magic. She never joined a coven. And you see that throughout the entire show. You know, you see, like, increasingly, like, hard pressures for people to join covens if they haven't, especially leading to the end of the season. But, Lilith basically gets told, you have one more chance to bring me Ida. And, you know, she's devising plans, she's trying to figure something out. Around the same time, though, the school that Luz now attends is going on a trip to the, Emperor's, like mansion or something. I don't know. It's like an army base type thing. But they're going to, like, the big one, you know what I mean? Like, the biggest one there, you know, because, like, they can. And, while figuring out the things that they have there, Luz figures out that they have, like, a magical, like, healing glove that can, like, heal any curse. Like, it's said to heal any curse. And, it's something along those lines. I forget exactly what it was, but it was something like that. And she, of course, thinking kind of like Lilith does, seeing how much the, curse kind of debilitates her, thinks, oh, I can help her. Like, I can help. I can try to fix this for her. And thinks, you know, oh, Ida would really like that. And what ends up happening is, it's basically kept under tight lock and key, so nobody can try to steal it. She ends up trying to steal it, basically. She ends up trying to steal it, and of course, you know, her friends are like, what you're doing is stupid, we're not gonna let you do stupid things alone. Right? So, they get, like, captured and everything. And, you know, Ida finds out about the field trip and is immediately like, oh shit, Lilith was there and probably did something to her. And so, you know, while all this is happening, you know, they're like imprisoned and shit, and you know, everything's going down. Ida shows up and busts Luz and her friends out. Her friends all like go ahead, like they get out. Luz gets trapped behind by Lilith, and she's basically using her as a leverage point, as like, you know, if you don't do this, I'll hurt her type thing, like a hostage. And so Ida gets there, you know, they hash this entire like lifelong beef out, like in the middle of this like complex, like right in front of the complex. And of course, this is where Lilith finally admits that she cursed Ida after Ida. Whoa. I guess they're taking me back. Oh. After Ida's basically flaunting the whole time. Small pause while you be right back to visit the bathroom. Wow, you're really leaving me hanging here, man. I'm really getting left hanging here. This is so rude. Ooh. Woo! I did it. Hold on. Look at how cool I am. Look at me, on top of the world, quite literally. Ooh, I know where I can go. Hold on. Okay, so I'm at the very end of season 1 in my entire everything. Mysterious Ninja Princess. Cool. Ow. Blue Baroness. Let me on. Go away. My phone is doing things. If he doesn't get back, I'm continuing. If he doesn't get back, I'm continuing. Get back to that area in a minute. A dog stand. No, I don't need a hot dog. I don't need hot dog. Not now. Not yet. Captain America. Whee! Oh, I fell from the ceiling. Gary Gizmo. Gary Gizmo has nothing. The poor fox. Woo. Covenant locks at other powers. Giant dead god. Yep. I was at the very end of season 1. So, where was I? So, okay, hold on. Fuck. So, like, Ida gets there, of course, to, like, try and rescue Luz. Like, Gus and Willow had already escaped beforehand, but Luz was held back as like a bargaining chip, like a hostage. So, what ends up, Maid Cafe. What ends up happening is they have an entire fight. Like, they dish it out hardcore. And, you know, it's then revealed that, Burger. Also Burger Head? No Knife Head? Bruh. But it's then revealed that, you know, of course, Lilith was the one to have cursed Ida when they were younger, and, you know, that causes Ida to basically go berserk, and that puts Luz in a bit more mortal danger than she would have liked to admit. And, you know, they end up capturing, Ida due to that. Because, you know, like, Ida tries to save Luz because Lilith throws her, like, over the edge into, like, a fucking bottomless pit. Really, really tries to save Luz, but, she can't without sacrificing herself. So she ends up sacrificing herself and getting, captured by the Emperor's Coven. And, I feel like I'm in a place I'm not supposed to be. But yeah, Ida is then basically... Oh, okay, there is a ladder. I can go jump around in the pit. Ida is brought before the Emperor along with, Lilith, because Lilith finally got her. And, you know, like, Ida's, like, kind of out of it. You know, she's, like, very much in, like, this, cursed owl beast form. And, the Emperor snaps her out of it. She still remains, like, looking like the owl beast, but, you know, she's, like, mentally back. And, she, like, upon being offered once that the, Emperor could take her in, she spits in his face and basically says, fuck off, which, you know, based. Basically she gets dragged away. And, Lilith is like, wait, I thought you were gonna, like, help with the curse. I thought you could heal her. And he basically flat out says, that was a lie. Why the fuck would I ever do that? And, Ida's petrification, which basically means they're gonna turn her to stone, is announced. And, you know, Luz went back home to, like, Hootie and everyone. Egg. And, like, they try to figure out what the fuck to do. And so they bring everybody kind of back together. Music got a bit loud. There we go. So they bring everybody kind of back together to try and, save Ida. But it's like, halfway works. They get to the Emperor, like, through a lot of trials and tribulations, and, like, she has the key to the door from the very, very beginning, and the door. And what is basically, like, a portal is basically what the door is. And the Emperor, for some reason, really, really fucking wants it. So, you know, Ida is, like, about to be petrified and everything. and they run into Lilith. And Lilith at this point realizes, you know, she'd been played by the Emperor, and she's probably not gonna last much longer in her current position. So when Ida is like, you know, like on the chopping block about to be petrified at the very last minute, because of her, you know, betraying Belos, who is the Emperor, because, you know, she says, I thought he would help her, but he didn't, and that's fucked up. She gets thrown into, she gets thrown into the cell as well. So meaning they're both going to be petrified together until the very last minute when Luz and the Emperor are, you know, duking it out. Like, obviously, the Emperor is really fucking strong. It could end Luz's life in an instant, but he's going easy on her for some reason. He really, really wants the fucking gate. So what Luz ends up doing is, with her limited knowledge of spells and everything, is she falls back on basic manipulation and keeps the key. They keep the key for the door, right? Like she keeps the key, but she hands the door itself over to Belos because that's what he wanted. And she blows it up right then and there. She uses her, like, semi-advanced, quote-unquote advanced knowledge of spells to blow it up. She uses an explosion spell. Blows the whole bitch up. But, you know, she basically played him. And you'd expect this guy to be really pissed off. It was more of, like, a well-played thing. Like, he expected that. And fucking Ida's petrification is halted because, quote-unquote, the Titan wouldn't like it. However, because of the entire ordeal, Ida and Lilith end up sharing the curse, and that leaves Ida very weakened, along with Lilith. Both of them can barely use magic at this point, I think. And, you know, they basically use this as a, be warned about what wild magic can do, yada yada, you know, all that jazz. And that's the end of Season 1. Season 2 starts up pretty much exactly where we left off. Except, you know, Ida's back home. Lilith came to live with Ida because obviously she'd been fucking fired. And, you know, everything's just kind of hitting the fan. But they're having to do, like, bounty hunter work, right? They have to do, like, bounty hunter work. And, you know, they're obviously getting pwned out of money because everybody knows at this point Ida cannot use magic, at least very well, anymore. And, you know, everyone's like, you know, they're not afraid of her anymore. Alright? So, they're just barely scraping by. And, on one of the wanted flyers, they see, like, a thing to hunt a Selkie-Damus, which is, it looks kind of like a seal. It looks kind of like a seal, so think of, like, a seal. But like a mystical, magical seal. Like one of those things. And this character, there was a new character added, one to antagonize people. the character was the Golden Guard. I forgot to mention the Golden Guard, but he was very rarely mentioned in season 1 because it was only towards the end when he actually got introduced. But the Golden Guard, right? He is the new face of the Emperor's Coven, the face that Lilith used to have. And, oh yeah. So back to the wanted poster and Selkie-Damas thing. So they find this wanted poster for the Selkie-Damas. Ida immediately is like, no, that's too dangerous for you and everything. And gives Luz like a more meaningless kind of quest for her and King to do. And they both are kind of like, we can handle adventure. Like, we're big and strong, we can do this. So then they decide to privately take on the Selkie-Damas quest. And, they're basically put on a pirate ship. Right, like they're put on a pirate ship, and they're doing, the old heave-ho and type shit. And while they are on the boat, they very slowly kind of get used to their new surroundings and everything. Like, they do pretty great on the ship, because they're really just trying to, make themselves seem useful. And what they're not exactly told is that the Golden Guard is on that ship. Like, it is an Emperor's Coven ship. Like, it belongs to the Emperor's Coven, and the Golden Guard is kind of stashed away on it, waiting for, because they knew Ida or Luz would take up the role. And, it's also a way to, like, get recruits and force them to join. So they find the Selkie-Damas, and Luz is very close to actually, getting it and killing it and everything. But it manages to get away at the last second. But while, like almost immediately after it gets away, when they're all still distracted, another person comes onto the ship, and loots the entire thing. And then they flee to an island, conveniently, in the same direction that the Selkie-Damas went. So they go after the person that stole the money from the ship, because obviously that's the money that they were going to get paid with. And she finds out the person that stole the money was Ida. And, this whole thing of like, oh, so I don't get to go and kill the Selkie-Damas, but you get to rob an Emperor's Coven ship? She says, yeah, but, like, you're a kid, and the Emperor's Coven ships always have the most money, and they're very rarely protected. And then out of nowhere, while they're having this conversation, the Golden Guard appears. He'd kidnapped King. Obviously. Leverage. Same tactic. And they basically, like, he needs the Selkie-Damas meat or whatever, the skin, whatever. And, basically orders the two of them to do it for him because he has leverage now. So they go into the cave where the Selkie-Damas is, and Ida explains, Selkie-Damases are harmless. Why the fuck would Belos need this shit? And so they stage killing it. They stage killing the Selkie-Damas because the Selkie-Damas had a baby. And, they're almost going extinct. So, the reproduction meant a lot. And, fucking... I need to be moving around to think. But, woo! Roulette machines. I'm guessing it is. But, fucking... Brain, no thinky. Oh yeah, so they stage killing the Selkie-Damas, right? They don't actually kill it, but they stage it so that the Golden Guard would think that they did. And, of course, he fucking believes it, because they made it smell nasty, because they have stink bombs now. And, he doesn't even really want it, but he gives them back King and he leaves. Because he's like, ugh, why are you touching that? That's nasty. It's disgusting. So he doesn't actually take it, but it's fine. That's not what they were trying to do in the first place. And so they get King back and everything, you know, all is good. You know, they lose the money, obviously. But, you know, like, they had this, you know, cool, like, little bonding experience, and they've, you know, we'll trust Luz with a bit more type beat, you know. And, as time goes on, you know, Luz is still, attending the school, right? And, of course, you know, the school Ida used to go to. So, Ida's pretty good about getting Luz there and everything on time. But while she's there, she keeps being told, like, oh, you know, one day you're gonna have to choose your coven, you're gonna have to choose, like, what you want to study, because currently Luz is, like, studying everything. And, you know, Luz is like, I wish I could study everything. And, you know, in her little outburst about that, she lands her ass in detention. And basically gets put on the quote-unquote detention track, meaning she literally can't do anything. She's physically not allowed to study anything. But while she's there, you know, she meets a couple new friends, and they're like, yeah, that's not exactly true. We have, like, this entire system to, like, study everything that we want, because conveniently all the others were there because they decided to mix magic. And, you know, as time goes on, you know, Luz really gets to enjoy these new friends. She's like, okay, I could get used to this. And they, introduce Luz to the troublemaker, like, head. I gave away my life to MCCI. I'm in the sewers. Guessing that's a different cell. But, yeah, as time goes on, you know, she really gets to know these people and their plights and everything. But, as this was happening, and she gets introduced to, like, the troublemaker, extraordinaire and everything. Like, the person that inspired this entire group. Her friends who were trying to bust her out this entire time because she kept saying, like, oh, like, you know, this place kind of sucks. Like, there's nothing to fucking do. Like, I don't want to be associated with these losers type thing. No, I'm good. But, brain isn't braining. Hold on. Oh, yeah. Okay. So they bust her out. And they, of course, repeat her exact words. And, you know, now that she knows what's going on, and that this place isn't entirely, like, useless, like, it's not her just kind of sitting around and not being able to talk or anything, she feels better about everything, but she immediately got kicked out because she said it fucking sucks here. And, can't talk to monoxide. Yes, I will give my life over. Hold on. New playroom. But, yeah. So, as this all is, going on. God, I got distracted so fucking fast. Holy shit, I did not expect to get distracted that fast. But, as all of that is going on, like a shapeshifter or some shit, gets into the school. And, you know, it's generally wreaking havoc. And so, she, like, loses, like, Willow and Gus, tell her about it. And it's like, yeah, shit's kind of getting whack over here. You might want to help us out real quick. And, you know, it's like, ooh, yeah, maybe we should do something about that. So, you know, she has to, like, apologize and round up the entire crew. And, you know, that's what she ends up doing. Yep. So then, when they catch wind of what's going on and, like, where the thing is that's, like, shape-shifting and destroying shit, they end up, killing it, obviously. But, you know, the principal of the school basically decides, yeah, you know what, that you can study all forms of magic, and takes everybody out of detention, which is, you know, in this case scenario, good. It's a good thing. And, yeah, so that's how Luz ends up getting to study all the tracks. Luz gets to study all the tracks. And, you know, of course, that's a big no-no from the Emperor. But Hierophant Baja. Cool. But yeah, that's like a big no-no. Hierophant Archibald. Fucking Archibald. Anyway, but, yeah. So that's like halfway-ish through, season 2. But, fuck, I'm really trying to remember. Like the order. And, after all that, you know, people slowly start to go about, you know, learning different things, everything, yada, yada, yada. You know, people actually start, like, multi-tracking. Like, they join multiple tracks. And, life goes on as normal, surprisingly. And, I'm trying to think about what happens next. So, after this, oh, yeah. Titanic moment. After this is when the students finally get, their own palisman, which is what Albert was. Remember the owl that was a staff? Yeah. It's called he was called a palisman, and they're made out of this very special palistrum wood, which is where they get the name palisman. It's not just because they're a pal and talisman, although that's definitely the reason why. And, cockpit. Let's go. But, yeah, so they all get assigned palisman, you know, basically it's a palisman adoption day, right? So Ida basically orchestrates it all with the Bat Queen, who looks after all of these, like, forgotten, palismen, like palismen that have been left behind by their owners, or their masters have, like, died or whatever. They end up finding their way to her, and she's, like, the queen of them. So, they have a little, like, adoption day for all of these little guys. And how it works is you tell them, like, your greatest wish in life, and one of them will be like, yeah, I fuck with that. And they... That's creepy. Why are there so many of them? What are these things? I thought that was a knife. I thought he pulled a fucking knife on me. But, oh yeah, Palisman Adoption Day. So, when it becomes Luz's turn, you know, she says, like, she wants to be the greatest witch in the world. And nobody really steps forward, because they're like, that's a bit vague. And, you know, it does come down to Luz does not get a Palisman, because she doesn't really fully have a wish for what she wants to do. Because right now she's just trying to focus on being a good witch. like just trying to figure out on how to start the situation. Like, she has no idea about anything else. And she doesn't end up getting a talisman, and she's pretty fucking bummed about it. Honestly, I would be too. And so during the night, she kind of sneaks down there into the talismans area. Their little like nest. Goes inside and just kind of starts spattering off random wishes that she has, hoping for one of them to align with her, because she really wants a talisman. And you know, she it's of course the middle of the fucking night, so she almost passes out during all of this. And right before she passes out, the entire thing shakes and gets lifted into the air. The Emperor's Coven, specifically a guard named Kikimora, is basically flying away with the entire thing so she can look good in the Emperor's eyes. I got something. But, yeah, Kikimora is basically taking the entire thing away. Or, no, it's Hunter that takes the entire thing away. Sorry. The Golden Guard. The Golden Guard, he ends up taking the entire thing away with the ship. Because he's like, you know, like, oh, I gotta do this thing for Belos. Because Belos is also cursed. Belos has a curse where he, needs to, like, consume, magic items in order to, actually, like, survive or something like that. Like, to survive, he needs to consume talisman. And he's just run out. So he sends Hunter to... Whatever. He sends the Golden Guard to, go collect more. And of course, you know, he probably finds out about the whole talisman adoption day and immediately goes, yeah, we're just gonna take these. So he comes by and, like, airlifts them up and takes them away. And, you know, Luz is, like, trying to console the little ones and also try to figure out what's going on. So she ends up climbing up into the ship that the Golden Guard, I've already done it. It's because I've already done it, and it's slipping up every time. That the Golden Guard is in, and, you know, rocks his shit. Like gets a good swing in. But, she doesn't know how to fucking fly the ship. So, in the best scene ever. Absolute, you know, peak, like, stereotypical comedy, but it still lands pretty damn well. She has no clue what she's doing and on how to fly the ship. And, you know, after she had knocked the Golden Guard off, she's like, how the fuck do I fly this thing? And of course the Golden Guard's like, oh, you just press that lever. She's like, oh, thanks. And then she looks up and the Golden Guard's back on the ship and she immediately gets captured. And, you know, it's just not going great so far. So she tries to, like, argue with the Golden Guard. Like, you know, these are just poor defenseless creatures. Like, are you sure you know what you're doing? And he goes, and, you know, he's like, you know, they're just kind of going back and forth until, they get interrupted by, Kikimora, the person I mentioned earlier, and her, like, little, like, toad pet, or whatever the fuck it is. I don't remember what it is, but, like, it's like a dragon thing with a ton of fingers on it, like human fingers. It's like wings, and it's got, like, the Zoidberg mouth, but it's fingers, and it's blue. It's blue. It's the best way to describe it. Just a ton of fingers and blue. But, that ends up crashing the ship. Right? Like, it ends up crashing the ship, and, Kikimora, it's revealed that Kikimora, did that so she could, like, seem like she's better off than the Golden Guard. Like, she's better as a Golden Guard than the current Golden Guard. So she, like, stages this entire thing. She tells the guard that, you know, the Golden Guard, like, died in the crash, even though he definitely didn't. But, you know, she had his mask and everything. Because, like, the Golden Guard wore, like, a mask that weirdly resembled an owl. But, yeah, right. So, fucking, like, this like red bird, right? The red bird, canary. I think it's a canary. Could be immediately wrong though. But, this canary that he'd been constantly causing trouble in, like, every other kind of scenario. Like he'd just been constantly causing trouble, but he managed to, stray away from the group at the very last minute, and, he wasn't captured with the rest of them. So he ends up, like, waking Luz up, so of course she can overhear this entire conversation, and he ends up guiding her to the current, Golden Guard, and is like, hey, look, I found him. He's not fucking dead. Like, she's gone ape shit. Like, this is not, like, red alert. This is not good. And, they end up waking him up. Of course, you know, this is, like, the first time you get to see the Golden Guard's face, because besides that, he'd just been a threatening force in a mask. So, you know, definitely trying to humanize him here. But, without, like, all of his gear, no one can really recognize him as the Golden Guard. He can't prove his credentials, you know what I mean? Even if he has, like, the seal of the Emperor's Coven on his arm and everything, people just refuse to believe it. But, you know, like, they're arguing almost the entire way, back to, like, get, you know, like, so, like, Hunter could, like, do Golden Guard can do everything, and, you know, he could just Golden Guard it up and shit. So, like, they're pretty much bickering back and forth the entire time. And, you know, after he does his initial kind of storm up and demand that they respect him plan, even though he's a kid, so that's not gonna happen. What ends up happening is he and Luz end up teaming up, very briefly to get their shit back. And what you end up finding out through all of this is that the Golden Guard is a very inquisitive mind. He's always trying to find out solutions to problems. He's always trying to, like, help his uncle. His uncle is Emperor Belos, by the way. You know, nepotism and all that shit. But yeah. So he's constantly trying to, like, do right by his uncle and everything. So he's constantly trying to find ways to, like, help him with his curse. Because obviously he cares about him, and he doesn't want him to suffer anymore. He's very much like Luz in that. But what ends up happening is they set off, like, a smoke bomb, right? As soon as the other, like, little talisman in their nest and Kikimora hit the air, immediately they set off, like, a smoke bomb that makes the giant fucking thing pass out, and there's, like, no way to stop it because it's a gas, and that's how gases work. And so they go down, and they immediately, and the Golden Guard and Luz, I feel like I should stop saying they, so I can just state the characters' names, but I'm broke. But the Golden Guard and Luz, like, go down there. You know, Luz immediately tries to go to save the talisman, while the Golden Guard... Wait, what was the giant thing again? The Titan? That's where they live. The Titan is the Boiling Isles. It's the actual land that they live on, the decomposing corpse of this thing. But, yeah. So, Luz immediately goes to check on the animals, you know, make sure they're all okay. And the Golden Guard, now having his staff back, because Luz had been holding it hostage, because, the Golden Guard also cannot do magic on his own. He needs, he needs the staff to be able to, like, wield it through, right? Earlier on, I didn't explain it, but, he explains that, he was born without magic, and his parents both died at a young age, so his uncle Belos took him in. That's what he explains. But, Luz has been basically holding his staff hostage, so it's not like he could do anything about it, so he just kind of follows along with Luz's plan so he can get it. And when he eventually gives it back, of course, he immediately points it at Luz, because, like, of course, like, that's what he would do. And, like, Luz gives, like, this a very, like, emotional speech of, like, I thought, you know, I could actually be your friend and you could be a good person, but I guess you're nothing more than this shitty role that you play for your uncle. And, he ends up revealing his identity to Luz by stating his name is Hunter, which is your first introduction to his name. I didn't say it beforehand, shut the fuck up. So, as soon as he introduces himself as Hunter, shit hits the fan. Kikimora wakes up immediately and starts firing on them because they're trying to take the talisman. And she ends up singeing the end of Hunter's hair. And so, like, it's a big back and forth while he tells Luz to, like, go and save the talisman and everything. And, you know, she does. She goes off with the fingered pet thing that Kikimora had and runs off with it, you know, so she could save these talismen. And she and Hunter fight. It's assumed that Hunter wins, because Kikimora does not remember anything. So it's assumed that Hunter wins. And Kikimora very quickly finds out what the hell happened when Hunter goes in front of Belos to say, yeah, no, I'm not dead. It's fine. We're good. And, you know, I couldn't find any talisman. Again, it's very hard to find palistrom wood. I just couldn't get my hands on any. You know, or it's something along those lines. Like, he just couldn't fucking do it. And, Belos dismisses him, and as Kikimora, who now can fully see, by the way, she immediately notices Hunter's hair, like how it's been singed a little bit at the ends, and immediately realizes what the hell happened last night, you know what I mean? Like, immediately is like, oh, shit. Oh. Okay. And that's the end of that episode, with the introduction of a new character named Hunter, right? Okay, so as time goes on, we eventually hit a point where we're back at the library, right? We're back at the library, and, you know, like, Luz is going in to get more books. You know, she's hanging out with Amity. They're very obviously crushing on each other at this point. By the way, they're sapphics. They are two women in love. So, there. But, they're very obviously crushing on each other the entire time. But, okay, I feel like I missed a step. Hold on, scroll back. Go back. I missed a plot point, an important episode. Okay, so, you know how, Ida has the curse, right? Her and Lilith share the curse now, right? Well, apparently, Ida's mother comes around every once in a while with a new random thing to cure the curse. And, Ida's kind of tired of it. She's kind of tired of getting her hopes up that she'll be back to normal, because nothing she ever does works, and she kind of starts to see it as a hassle. So while Ida very much shoos away her mother, Lilith, who never really saw their mother, you can really tell that Ida was the favorite, like, immediately is like, what the hell? You mean mom actually comes to see you? Like, she actually talks to you? You know what I mean? It's one of those situations. And, Luz is, like, very caught on the idea of, if I can help Ida, I'm going to. So she ends up following around, Ida's mother for a little bit. I forget her name. It's fine, though. But, Ida's mom follows her around for a little bit. And, that's when she is introduced to basically the idea of the witch anti-vaxxer. Because the holistic medicine scam is apparently a thing. So, Ida's mother has basically been going to a guru that says, like, oh, if you're, like, this level of a spiritual within whatever the fuck, you could do this thing. And she's, like, spending thousands upon thousands of dollars on this fake guru's, like, teachings and book and everything. But she's, like, hoping to eventually hit a point where she could help Ida, right? Like, everything is... It's presented in a way of she means well, but she is very obviously not really listening to Ida. But all this goes on. Luz points out that she's being scammed and how hurtful all this is. And she finds out that, okay, so how Ida keeps the this, like, beast form of hers that I mentioned during the petrification at bay is she takes a potion, right? Now her and Lilith have to take potions. So, she's, like, her mom steals all of the ones inside the house. All of them, she steals all of them. Not, like, she doesn't even notice that Lilith also has a curse now and needed those, right? So, when they're all taken away, she just can't, like she immediately, like, takes herself, we're talking about Ida here. Ida immediately, like, goes out into the woods to try and go get more, and, is basically ambushed by Luz and her mom, and, Ida immediately, or almost immediately, takes the beast form again, as, you know, she's not able to access her potions, so she just, like, is physically unable to do it, like to fix it herself, because she's too far gone, right? She's having an episode now. So she turns into an owl beast, and at the exact same time, King and Hootie, who were taking care of Lilith at the time, immediately Lilith basically also turns into an owl beast, and King immediately hits the ground running. He's like, I gotta go. I will be the first to die in this situation. So he immediately fucking books it. And of course, Hootie's, like, a little mad because he thought he had a new friend, and new friend is, like, you know, Lilith is new friend, and new friend is, like, immediately hurt. But what ends up, happening is, fucking... Okay, we can stay underwater. But, I'm trying real hard to remember. So they both end up rampaging on the city, right? Like, the main city area that's, like, that, like, the school is in as well. They end up going on a fucking rampage. And that's when Ida's mother realizes both Ida and Lilith have the curse. And they just didn't want to fucking... Like, she just didn't want to pay attention to Lilith. She was so focused on Ida that she didn't realize how much pain had already been caused by her action of her not paying attention to either of their wishes. So they have this wholesome moment where she's, like, gives them both potions, like, King and Luz team up to basically, like, fix the issue and give them both potions. And, you know, she basically apologizes to both of them, like, I wish I could have fixed this, but I can't. And I'm really, really sorry. And the episode ends with, Lilith going to live with, their mother again, instead of at the owl house with Ida and Hootie and King and Luz. But she promises that she will send letters to Hootie, because Hootie had a friend, finally. Because nobody in the house really pays attention to Hootie. That's about it. Okay, and then... Right? Oh, yeah. This is where I needed to take this step back. I was trying to figure out where I was. But before Ida's mother leaves, Luz asks about if they're, like, Luz casually mentions that she's the only human that's ever been here before, so it's a bit weird. And, Ida's mother says something to the effect of, "You're not the first. There was one human here a long, long time ago, and I think that his journal was donated to the museum. You might want to go check that out." Or was donated to the library, not the museum. And that's where the episode ends. And now we're back to the library. Okay, so, library. Setting, library. Obviously, Amity and Luz, very hard crushing on each other. They're in love, they're sapphics. This is how it is. And, I'm thinking about how to word things. Luz goes to Amity about it, like, "Hey, I heard that there would be this thing. Saplings? Sapphics. Like, S-A-P-H-I, like, sapphics. F-I-C-S, I think. But yeah, sapphics. But goes to Amity. No, hold on. I don't know if you can see it, but that's how it's spelled. I think. It's spelled sapphics. It basically just means that they're two women that are not exactly lesbians, but are in a lesbian relationship. That's all it really means. Never heard that. That's fair. But, okay, so Luz goes to Amity about this, and Amity says, "Oh, it's probably in, like, the dark archive or whatever," and immediately Luz is like, "Oh, it's like the fucking black market." No. It just means that it's probably hidden so far away that she couldn't even get it with where her, like, employee status stands, because the person that runs the library probably has it tucked away. So, of course, Amity, really trying to please the girl that she has a crush on, is like, "Oh, but we can figure it out, right? We can figure this out." And I've been attacked. But fucking God, I got distracted. Where was I? Oh, yeah. So Amity, really trying to please the girl that she likes, sneaks her into, like, this back, like, book area, excess area. And, like, they're sneaking around to, like, the head librarian, like, really trying to get to this book. But when they get to the book, a mouse ate it. A mouse ate the book, so she does not get the book. And, of course, Amity loses her job in the process, and she's, like, pretty fucking mad about it. Because, like, you know, she really did like that job. But she did, keep the mouse. The mouse is, like, she gave the mouse to Luz, and apparently it's called an echo mouse, meaning even though it ate the book, it can still, like, give out projections of the book and actually, like, read out what was on the book. So, win. We're hitting that point. Oh god. Anyway. Okay, we're back. Anyway. After all of that, Amity's bummed out that she lost the job, but however, she's happy that she made the person that she really likes happy. And they now have the Echo Mouse, right? And the Echo Mouse gives, like, projections of, like, this human's, journal, right? You learn that the human is called Philip Whittabane. His name is Philip Whittabane. And, you learn more about him throughout the story. However, she, like, looks, because, like, she's really trying to find a way home at this point, because she doesn't have the door. Right, like, she's really trying to find a way home. But, so now she has this book to kind of go off of. I've been talking too much. Ugh. 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 Okay. Anyway, I will be coughing through this, just so you know. Ugh, I'm not crying, I'm just coughing. Because my voice is getting dry and I'm out of water. Well, I didn't have water to begin with. I expected this to run a lot shorter. But then you got me started on the entire plot of the Owl House. So... after that, the mouse has been giving, like, random ass readings of the entire place, right? Of, like, Philip's life, like the date, like how he got there is vaguely touched on, and his experiences while he was there, right? But one day, Luz gets very sick, and as she's getting sick, because her friends are trying to take care of her, that doesn't really work. But the mouse has, like, a vision, and it talks about this lake, right? That's filled with, that, like, is filled with a substance called Titan's blood, and you can use one of those to go back, right? And, they're like, oh shit, because Titan's blood is a very coveted resource, but obviously, Luz can't go. She's kind of loopy with it. Like, she's very out of it. And, so, Amity, Ida, and King all go instead of Luz, while Hootie, Willow, and Gus all stay back to take care of Luz. But Luz gives Amity, like, a little, like, Tamagotchi type thing, right? That she can, like, text her on, but it's all, like, through emojis and stuff, right? Like, because it can't use actual letters. So, while they're heading there, like they're trying to figure out what to do, we cut to Hunter again, who we have found out has kept the little, like, red canary that did nothing but cause trouble, who has apparently decided to stay with Hunter, even though it is a palisman and will be killed on sight. And, Hunter's decided to keep it. So Hunter, also wanting the Titan's blood, because for, I don't know, some particular reason, to bring it to Belos or something like that, like, he's read about the same thing, he's heading off to, like, do the same thing. Anyway, so the fucking bird pulls Hunter into the way, like, by pulling on his hair. Physically, the bird is, like, grabbing him by the hair, pulls him down a hill, and he lands right in front of the other crew in this scenario. And they take him hostage. They take him hostage because, like, they fucking can, after, they insult him and call his voice annoying. So, sucks to be him. Anyway, so they get into, like, these mines, right? And these mines are simply just the Titan's veins, by the way. So they go into, like, these mines, and Kikimora and her crew were also there looking for the Titan's blood. And all of them are eventually caught, right? And, you know, like, Ida, at least, is caught. Ida and King. And while, Hunter is kind of there. Basically, shit hits the fan. Hunter convinces Amity to let him go, and he just immediately fucking dips. Like, he's immediately gone. He's running ahead while they're in peril. So he just immediately fucking dips. He's gone. But, what ends up happening is, they don't want to have to deal with the bodies, so they just kind of throw Ida, King, Albert, remember the little Ida's staff bird, and Amity into a hole. Right? And, this is all after... Let's go back to the before Hunter got released. They were having a conversation because, Luz is, of course, texting in emojis. And she can't fucking read it. And Hunter, of course, being Hunter, is like, oh, it's negative. Communications like that are always negative. Like, oh, like, do this, or, like, I'm never gonna be your friend ever again, or some shit like that. And, of course, she's really fucking worried about that. Anyway, run back to where we are now. Albert managed to get sideways lodged into, like, this little, like, ravine, while Ida and King are kind of, like, holding on to Albert. And, fuck, I missed the episode knocking on Hootie's door. Okay, so we missed an episode. I'll just kind of recap it very quick. So, we find out King, no clue what he is as a demon. Ida can now turn into a harpy version of herself because she is reconciled with this owl beast inside of her. And Amity and Luz are officially dating. That's the summed up version. And it was all done by Hootie wanting to say that he was able to do something in their lives because he was left out. But, fucking... Okay. So, yeah, like, it was like, oh, like, do this or we'll break up. That's exactly probably what the text was, like, in Hunter's eyes. But, Amy almost drops the little Tamagotchi thing, and she immediately, like, that's a big point in this episode. And, you know, Hootie is, like, kind of breaking from holding all of these people's weight. And they're like, Ida, you have to turn into a harpy. You have to, or we're gonna fucking die. And so it's like, we're gonna die. So she's, like, frantically trying to, like, make a deal with the owl beast and everything. She eventually gets it. They turn into a harpy. Like, Ida turns into a harpy and sends King and Amity forward while she wants to test out her new powers and fight off the rest of the guard. So they all go forward, and they finally meet up with Hunter again, who is in a giant pit digging a hole, right? And they jump down there, and he immediately says, there's no Titan's blood. It's gone. This dried up years ago. Why? This dried up years ago. Why did I even hear about this? Like, there's nothing here. And, you know, they ask why he's digging. He says he's digging his grave. And, of course, asks Amity if she would like one, too. And, you know, the little bird is, like, constantly, like, flying around, trying to, like, pull him away from his metaphorical grave here. Because, you know, if he goes back to Belos empty-handed, oh, he's gonna get his shit rocked. And, you know, Amity is, of course, trying to, like, sway him over to the quote-unquote good side in this situation, you know, like, tender words, you know, reassuring him, until he looks up and notices the key. That's the key that Belos needs to open the door, as he has been rebuilding the door. So he immediately makes swipes for it, and it just turns into a big-ass brawl. So Hunter is, like, frantically teleporting around, like, because he's the only one that can teleport, actually. That is his main ability, quote-unquote, teleporting. And, like, he's teleporting around, really just trying his hardest to get that fucking key. And, you know, Flapjack, the little bird, is, like, a staff now, because he was a palisman. And, you know, they're just kind of, they're duking it out. King immediately gets taken out of the fight. Hunter immediately fucking clocks him. And, he does end up getting the key. But Amity ends up accidentally cracking it and getting Titan's blood all over her hand, because Titan's blood is what is in there. But Hunter ends up getting the key, and he flies off into the night. Ida comes in like, oh, I heard someone getting their ass kicked. Oh, it's my people getting their ass kicked. Is this all from memory, or you have a guide up? This is all from memory. Why do you think I'm having to, like, go back and recap other episodes that I missed? This is all from memory. So Ida's like, ah, shit. So then they go back home. You know, Luz is fine now. And the Luz explains that the message is, like, are you okay? Like, the crystal fountain or whatever the fuck is, like, empty. It's dangerous. You know, don't do this dumb thing that they ended up doing anyway. And, you know, Hunter ends up taking the key back to his uncle, Bellows. He immediately takes it and is like, cool, leave. Leave! And that's, like, the end of the episode. There you go. Where to go from Crystal Lake? Okay, I know the episode. So, after that, a bit later, Ida and Luz are, like, in this night market, right? They're doing whatever. And, oh, no, wait. Back it up. Before that, different. We have a Hunter-centric episode to get through. So, after all of this has happened, Bellows needs a day of rest. Why? I'm not exactly sure. Either way, he's away, and he left Hunter in charge of the Coven head meeting. They're the heads of every single Coven, and, you know, he needed them to have a meeting to talk about things. They start the meeting, they immediately reschedule it without telling him, because they don't respect him. And then one of them, the Abomination Coven head named Darius, explains they don't fucking respect him. Why would they respect him? And, he sends him basically on a task to go collect more recruits, and then maybe they'll respect him. So that's exactly what he does. He takes, he takes his cape. Hunter has a cape that has the Golden Guard sigil on the back, and he claims that he is unfit to wear that sigil because he knew the past person to have the title of Golden Guard and says he was so much better than you. I don't know how the fuck you ended up with this, but yeah. So if you go get recruits, then maybe you can prove yourself and have it back. So he ends up going to the school where Luz goes. Right. And they're having like a fair, like a club fair or something. Like he has on like the uniform and everything. He's like gonna go blend in with children his age, even though he has never talked to a person his age outside of battle at all. So he ends up pissing off the right people. However, first let's cut to Willow and Gus. Willow and Gus have basically set up a flyer derby. Think like roller derby. Like a flyer derby team that they really want to start. At least Willow does. And she's like, you know, advertising is like high stakes, you know, speed and everything. You know, like roller derby. It can get aggressive. And like people are just kind of like, eh. And Willow's like, we need someone to like go flying around and, you know, like advertise. We need advertisement. And of course, as this is happening, Hunter is currently getting his ass handed to him and flying around because he pissed off some other club. And like a beast or something is like following him around, right? So of course he's flying super fucking fast, doing extreme evasive maneuvers, because obviously he has all this experience from actual combat because he has been a child soldier his entire life. And after he gets his shit back together, Willow runs up to him like, hey, do you want to join our team? Like, I promise, like, only the, like, of course he seems like, I kind of don't want to. But, you know, Willow's like, only the best are gonna join this team, so I think you'd really enjoy it. And he's like, only the best? That's exactly what Darius described. So he ends up joining the flyer derby team, you know, doing like some stunts for Willow and everything. Hunter immediately sets off Gus's alarm bells, but Gus doesn't really say anything about it. But Gus is immediately like he knows who Hunter is. He's like not amused. But so they have this like this giant thing to show like who the flyer derby is, and a bunch of people join. And you know, when they go to their first practice the same day, you know, Hunter's kind of like standing off to the side. He and Willow have like a heart-to-heart about kind of being the outcasts of both of their respected groups and everything. Like, Willow was an outcast at school. Hunter is pretty much an outcast in the entire Coven system. At least within the Emperor's Guard. His current situation is basically adults bullying a child. So, fuck. Yeah. So when they go to check out the entire thing, people are like, it looks like a group of slackers. I'm not gonna lie. Like, Gus can barely fly. Like, one person's on their phone, one person is doing an entirely different thing, and Hunter basically is like, these people are fucking losers. I don't know what you meant by best of the best. These people couldn't play flyer derby if they even tried. And he basically immediately tries to, like, storm out and everything. And, you know, Willow has another talk with him and is like, hey, like, you can't fucking, that's not okay. And within them having that argument and Willow pulling him back onto the field, like, physically, which causes a bit of a trauma response with him. Because he immediately, it's like attack mode. He thinks he's being attacked. Like, immediately fight or flight kicks in. And everybody on the team is pretty much ready now. You find out Gus, he can fly. He just can't fly sitting down like everyone else. He can surf, though. Like, he can surf as a way to fly. And the person on their phone was actually looking up strategies. And the person that was doing a different thing entirely is one of the people that we met that's multi-tracking from the detention episode, who was taking care of a beast-keeping magic situation, getting someone down for a nap. So, you know, they have this entire thing, you know, where they're, like, all basically semi-proving themselves to Hunter, and Willow says, like, do we look like, we don't know what we're doing anymore now? And he just shakes his head, like, no, I'm sorry. So, yeah. Anyway, they have a flyer derby match, simply because, one of the Abomination's professors, has it kind of out for Willow, because Willow did so much better in plant magic than abomination magic, and he's kind of a stick-up-his-ass type beat. And, he basically says, I'll sponsor your club if you can beat a group of my folks on, like, in a flyer derby match. And, you know, they end up pulling off a ton of shit, and they do end up winning. However, after they've, proven themselves, Hunter immediately reveals himself as the Golden Guard and kidnaps the entire team, taking them into, like, a training facility, right? And, you know, he's like, oh, you guys are gonna love it here. You know, we get, like, 1 day off every, like, year and a half. You guys are gonna love it. It'll be amazing. And, like, of course, they're all like, you lied to us. What do you expect us to say? That's a dick move. And he's like, oh, you guys will learn to love it. And then, he ends up leaving after, Darius gets there, who was pretty damn pissed off that he had to actually do something. And, you know, takes them and their palisman, because, and, he gets, Hunter, okay, so he takes the group, the flyer derby team, and their palisman, and leaves. and he gets talking to another scout, and the scout's like, I don't know if they'll be able to take it, man. I mean, we went through grueling conditions to be able to do this. And I mean, like, shit, their palismen are gonna get murdered. And, you know, Hunter now has a palisman, so he can empathize. But he very quickly realizes what they, like, the rigorous training that he has, like, nostalgic feelings for. Probably because, like, his uncle, like, was like, oh, if you do this, you'll be, like, the greatest person on all the land or something like that. You know, manipulation and shit. He realizes the conditions were terrible, either way. And he immediately goes up to Darius's ship and, quote-unquote, saves them. The others land the ship while he goes to fight Darius. And when he tries to, like, go and get them back into, like, a cage or something, Hunter, like, goes in front of him and says, like, I made a mistake. And I will take the fall for that, but they're not fit for this type of life. And then he tells them to go. And when they leave, Darius is like, are you kidding me? I wasn't gonna do shit to them. To be fair, we have too many. We have too many recruits. Why the hell would I want these guys? The only reason that I did this is to get you off of my chest. Because you were just so fucking annoying. And, you know, after all of that's explained, Darius ends up giving, Hunter back the Golden Guard's sigil cape thing and says, you need a fucking sewing lesson, because this is done shoddily, but whatever. And he gives, Hunter a scroll, which is this universe's version of a phone, and says, you have friends now, you probably should keep in contact. And he mentions something about Flapjack, the little bird, remember, as a palisman, and he's like, he immediately gets defensive. He would die for this bird already. That entire time, Luz and Amity were out, like, looking for a book signing for one of their favorite book series. And they run into, Willow, Gus, and crew of the Flyer Derby team, and they're like, oh yeah, we won our first game. They show the photo, and they're like, that's the fucking Golden Guard. And they're like, you know, we're besties now. So, yeah, so Hunter is basically officially an unofficial crew member at this point. Anyway, back to the night alley type thing. So, Ida, King, and Luz all go to, like, this night alley to try and get Luz's cape fixed, that she just likes to wear because it was damaged. And nobody's gonna fucking do that because Ida is, of course, a non-Coven witch, and the Emperor's Coven is really pushing for people to join covens. And, of course, people that were not a part of covens are now part of covens and are starting to shun people that aren't a part of covens. So, what ends up happening is, Luz kind of, like, speaks out against how stupid that is, and, kind of runs off and runs into Hunter. And, like, goes to, like, see what he's doing, but he is in the middle of stopping, 3 people from trying to attack, like, mentally attack the Emperor, right? So, Luz jumps in, the 3 people get away. Oh my god, I haven't, okay, whatever, we're fine. So, one of the people get away, and they end up getting sent into Belos's mind. Right, they get sent into Belos's mind palace, and while they're there, like, of course, Hunter's very, like, respectful of him, like, look at all the great things that he's done, and, of course, Luz being on the opposite end of his, like, attacks, immediately recognizes when shit goes wrong, and they end up going deeper into his subconscious, following a younger version of Belos. And when they're doing that, like, they're kind of being guided around, and Hunter sees all these other golden guards, and he's seeing, like, discrepancies, like, in his mind, discrepancies that he's trying to consistently brush off and say these aren't right, even though they are quite literally his memories, but it's a defense reflex, psychologically, for him. And, as things go on, and he's seeing all these horrible shit that Belos has done, they end up finding out that the kid that they're following around is, in fact, like, Belos' inner mind. Like, the thing that's gonna fucking murk them. But anyway, while all this is happening, King and Ida figure out where Luz is, because Luz had a walkie-talkie in her pocket, because her and King were playing with the walkie-talkies, and she basically says, yeah, this is where we are, come get us out, help. So they're trying to figure out how to do the same spell to get them out, basically. Like, they're aware that the Golden Guard is there, they really don't care, they're, like, if they can get them both out, they're fine. But, like, you know, nobody should be in someone's mind space for too long. But anyway, as they're, like, freaking out, trying to figure out what to do, the 3 people that were trying to do the spell in the first place kind of stalk outside of Ida's house, right? And one of them mentions that they might have a way to get past Hootie, and that's about the most that you see from the 3 of them. Either way, they give the potion that they used for, like, this spell to Ida, so that Ida can do it. Like, they give it to Ida. And they end up, you know, of course, getting them out. But that's not before Hunter finds the mental graveyard of other Golden Guards. You know, realizing how disposable he is to Belos. And, you know... Oh my god, I missed another episode. Oh my god, we're at this big point and I've missed so much. Okay, it's because I don't think about it until I'm at this point. Okay, so, stepping it back to back when Lilith was actually in the house with them. Lilith and Luz kind of, they just do something fun, you know, like they go back in time, basically. But they do it using some of the Titan's blood that was on Amity's glove. Oh my god, I missed another episode. I missed so many episodes. Okay, we're gonna be on this for a bit. I'll re-explain everything else later. I'll try to go fast. So, Luz and Lilith go back in time after finding these, like, little pools that can connect time and space. So they end up going back to what they call the Deadwardian era, and, they meet up with Philip Whittabane, right? And when they meet up with Philip, they both try to make themselves seem like they're witches of that time. And Philip says, we need you for something, right? Like, you seem like of a similar inquisitive mind. So, what ends up happening is, Luz ends up showing Philip some runes, right? Like a light rune. And, Philip ends up taking them to an area where they get magically teleported into the skull of the, tapping into new episodes to me? Good. Okay. So they end up going into the skull of the Titan, right? Which is sacred territory in their current time. But they end up going in there, right? And Philip is trying to open a door in there for some reason. And Lilith immediately jumps at the idea of a puzzle. So she immediately goes towards it. And, Luz is kind of talking to her. And she says, it's weird because this has been mostly opened. I wonder why, though. And, you know, Luz starts to remember the book, right? Like, the mouse, the Echo Mouse, had said something along the lines of he went in with 2 other friends and he was the only one that came out alive. But as soon as she mentions that this is the scene that they are in history, the door is already opened and a beast jumps out. right? And that thing immediately goes for, Lilith and Luz. And Philip mentions how, and Philip, like, is just like, you actually thought that I was gonna trust you. You witches are all the same. Yada yada yada. He grabs this, like, plate thing off of like a pedestal and immediately, like, teleports the fuck out of there. And, Lilith and Luz end up getting out after figuring out the creature was just scared and not actually, like, trying to fucking murk them. So they go and they go to Philip and they just slap the shit out of them before coming back. What was the other episode that I missed? But yeah, they come back. They're now back in the present, but they did meet Philip Whittabane, and Luz fucking hates Philip Whittabane. Right? Ah, fuck. I don't remember the other episode. I know I missed another episode that was important. Fuck. Well, anyway. Oh! I know which episode I missed. Okay, so this is an Ida-centric episode. This is, before Lilith leaves, but, like, almost the very beginning, and I'm upset that I missed it. I was thinking about it at the very beginning, and I remember thinking about it, but I didn't actually mention it. Anyway, so, Luz and Ida and King, they're all kind of out on the town, right? Right, like, they're off doing their own thing. And, suddenly, like, of course, they start getting harassed by the Golden Guard, and while they're doing that, a group of people wearing bat masks kind of start to show up, and, like, they obviously practice bard magic, and, they basically give a giant speech about how the Emperor is shit, and, like, look at the type of shit that his coven is doing, like, harassing people in the streets, and, they, like, basically play music to, like, get them to fuck off, because obviously they're bards, and they can do that, until people start showing up with earmuffs to take care of them, and, they run off. And Ida immediately recognizes who one of them is. I've returned my area. So Ida immediately recognizes who one of them is and asks to join their group. Maybe you skipped some episodes too? Maybe. You remember this bit? Okay, cool. Cool. You're the best character. But, anyway, so Ida immediately recognizes who one of them is and basically asks to join their group. And, of course, they're immediately like, I don't know. It'd be a bit difficult for civilians to join. And basically, Ida immediately outs one of them as by a person named Rain Whispers. Now, Rain, instead of being pissed off about this, he was more embarrassed by it, because he was like, I have a reputation, Ida. You can't just go doing that to me. That's mean. So instead of being mad about it, he's, like, embarrassed. But, they're immediately shown to be good friends. And still definitely in love. But, anyway. Oh, yeah, that's what I missed. Okay, that's a later episode, though. Okay, we're good. I remembered where I was. But, yeah, so they bring her into the organization called the Bats. The Bards Against the Coven. Bards Against Covens, or something like that. Yeah, Bards Against the Coven, something like that. And, Ida joins, and, she doesn't really practice too much bard magic, but she definitely has the strategical skills to get done anything that they want to get done. But that's mostly because of the curse. She can't play bard magic. So, they join up crews for a little while, and, they start wreaking general havoc now that Ida's involved. And, you know, like, they start to really catch the attention of the other coven heads and everything. Like, they're freeing wild witches, and, like, left and right, like, by the truckload, they're saving people. And yeah, like, they're doing really, really good now that they have Ida to be, like, a strategic mind for everything. Freedom. Cool. And eventually they get like information, they get intel that there will be a group of wild witches being being escorted by some Emperor's Coven witches through one of the nearby forests. And Ida immediately goes to their aid to help them kind of take care of that, until they realize they were set up the last minute. And the other people in the party get immediately captured, leaving Ida and Rain to fend for themselves. So they end up getting chased into a corner because the people that are chasing them are Head Witch Darius, the one from the Hunter storyline, and the Beast Keeping, I think, Head Witch Eberwolf, right? And Darius and Eberwolf are just kind of there, wreaking general havoc, trying to track down the last two because they know that there are two left. And they end up like, Ida and Rain end up in a corner, and they have no other choice but to have Ida play to get themselves out of the situation, even though when she does bard magic, everything around her starts to decay. Like, everything starts to wither away and cause, like, excruciating pains. So they both play a song on violin. And while this is happening, Ida and Rain kind of have a heart-to-heart where Rain is like, you know, if we get out of this, we might be fine, but, like, don't sacrifice yourself. And then as he basically says something along those lines, a photo of King and Luz falls out of her pocket. And Rain's immediate reaction is, Ida, you have kids? And Ida explains how it's complicated, that they don't really need her anymore, and, you know, that she can keep playing. And Rain basically forces her to stop, saying, like, you can't, they still need you. I promise they still need you. You cannot sacrifice yourself for them. And instead, Rain then sacrifices themselves for Ida's sake, and gets captured by the other head witches, which is when you find out Rain is the head witch of the Bard Coven. So this could land him in big shit, and it in fact did. Yeah. But where was I? Okay, so we were introduced. We got Rain Whispers as a character. We got Eberwolf as a character, and we got the back in time bit. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay, so while they are in, I'm getting kicked again. While they are in Belos's headscape or whatever the fuck, I probably don't need to be on a server for this, I'm gonna be real. While they're in Belos's headscape, of course, Hunter sees, like, this giant line of, we're just gonna make a new world. There we go. So, yeah, so he just sees, like, this line of graves in Belos's mind, seeing how expendable he is and everything. And, the inner version of Belos, the one that wants to, like, keep people away from these memories, finally appears. And it was the kid that they were following. So he turns into, like, this grotesque, monster type thing. stream's still okay, I think. Whoa! This was quite the spawn. An ice spikes biome. Cool. But, the inner version of Bellows basically reveals himself and says, yes, Hunter is expendable, and says that he's also, something called a Grim Walker, and basically forces Hunter deeper into his headspace, and that is, you know, it's pretty bad. He could immediately die upon that happening. But while that's happening, Luz, is left in front of Bellows, of course, pretty messed up by the entire situation of someone that she had kind of grown to be on her side to fucking be murdered. What ends up happening is Bellows reveals himself as, Philip Whittabane. Bellows reveals that that is, in fact, him. And, you know, Luz helped him, basically. Like, Luz helped him figure out what he needed to do to get this powerful, to do all of these things. And it's like, Luz was the catalyst. And that sends her into a spiral. And, Hunter, not dead, shown to not be dead, reappears and, basically helps get Luz out of there. Right, because this is a big fucking deal. This is a real big fucking deal. So when they get out, Hunter immediately has a panic attack and runs off into the woods, right? Like, he is immediately like, I can't fucking take it. Like, what the hell just happened? Like, everything. Like, he cannot take it. And, Flapjack, of course, runs after him. And that's, like, the last they're seen in this episode. And they also, during all of that, find out that the Day of Unity, which is something that the series that I haven't mentioned before, had been, like, leading up to as, like, a major thing for the Emperor's Coven, where, all of the covens will finally, like, become one or some shit. So they find out, you know, obviously, a thing with the name, like, a villain that has a holiday coming up named the Day of Unity is probably not a good thing. So, like, they don't know exactly what happens on it, but they figure out pretty quick, you know, this is probably not a good thing. Azalea tree. But, yeah. So they figure out, you know, this is probably not a good thing. Luz pretty much explains everything that happened in there, but obviously keeping her involvement and Hunter's Grim Walker-ness to a bit of a minimum. It doesn't really say anything. And after that, there is a parade right before the Day of Unity, right? And during that parade, Luz and the crew basically decide to crash it, right? So, Hootie, like, dresses up as a float. Like, I don't remember exactly why that they decided to do this, but they did. So Hootie gets all dressed up as a float, and, is that too far forward? No, I think we're good. I think we're good. So, Hootie gets all dressed up as, like, a float, and, like, King is, like manning the inside while Hootie is, like, doing all the extra work. And they have a code word that when it's said, they basically make all hell break loose, right? Like, they have it set up so that they will basically crash the entire thing. And, what ends up happening is they do end up crashing it. It does, in fact, work. I forget exactly what they were trying to do. But, they end up getting caught, of sorts, by none other than our resident bard wizard witch thing. Because, I don't know, they use witch exclusively. They don't really, I don't know, maybe there's a mythological, quote-unquote, mythological difference between the two. I'm not exactly sure. But, they none other than our favorite witch, the head of the Bard Coven, Rain Whispers. So, Rain is there to stop Ida, right? And Rain appears to not remember anything. He doesn't remember jack or shit about about the bats, like anything that happened that day, anything. They seem to not remember jack or fuck, like absolutely nothing. And you know, of course, that's a pretty devastating blow for Ida. But on top of all of that, hold on. On top of all of that, Rain is telling Ida basically to leave, or they'll have to, like, kill Ida. And, you know, that's like not a good thing, right? So they get into this big ass fucking fight, and you know, at the end of the entire episode, Bellos reveals, like, his face reveal, dream style. He does that to the entire island, basically stating, you know, like I've been keeping my face hidden because of past like shit that's gone on. Like, people have been afraid of me because of my looks. And you figure out why. It's because he's got like scars and shit all over his face. But, you know, he does that and people are like, "Oh wow, that Bellows guy." You know, he does it basically as a manipulation tactic. And yeah. Then after that, I'm gonna go through two different King episodes. So, King gets basically a letter from someone claiming to have known his father, right? Because the whole thing is we have no clue who King is, what he is, anything. We have no idea. So King gets a letter from someone claiming to be his father, giving him, like, coordinates, and says, like, hey, like, this, like, come to this place when you're ready to learn about who you are. And King is immediately, like, over the moon excited, and pretty much goes immediately. And, you know, brings along Hootie and, Luz, of course, as like a, you know, you can share in my joy or something, right? And, once they get there, no, wait, wrong order, other one. I need to go to the other one. Okay, so this is before the letter, right? I keep doing this and I'm sorry. This is before the letter, right? Ida finally tells King where he came from, because King is like, you know, he finally figures out, you know, he's not the, like, king of demons or whatever. And, you know, she explains, no, I found you. You were like just a little baby when I found you. You weren't like this monstrous, like, king of demons. You're just this little bitty thing. You're a baby. And King is, of course, like, fucking heartbroken by that, and he sets out to prove that he is in fact, the King of Demons, and, ends up going back to where he was found, and, with Hootie, Lilith, and, of course, Luz, and basically says, no, I'm gonna show you. Watch this. Watch. You're gonna feel so stupid after I show you these things. And, they're like, yeah, sure, whatever. So he takes them to, like, this secluded island, like, on the tip of the finger of, like, one of the fingertips of the Titan. Something along those lines. And, you know, like King takes him there. And it's like, this is where I was born. This is exactly where. You know, like, you don't believe me now that I'm, like, this monstrous, like, king of demons and shit? You don't believe me? And, back home, Ida sees a note left from King and immediately freaks the fuck out, giving the audience a clue, like, uh-oh, maybe King should not be here. And, after that, King is, like, showing them around, like, this is like my throne. I have
Narrator. Options.
Hold on.
Narrator. Off.
I have no clue what this thing does, but it definitely does a thing. You know, like, he's giving him the works, you know what I mean? And, Ida ends up flying in on Owlbert, like, yo, you guys need to, like, get the fuck out of here. And, narrator, yeah. And, King's like, no, this is my home. Like, what are you talking about? And then this random, like, monster thing that, like, looks like it's made out of, like, rocks and human meat just, like, jumps out of nowhere and, starts attacking them. So they all book it outside. And King is like, you know, like, why did you lie to me? And yada, 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 everything along those lines. And, she says, it was because I wanted to keep you safe, you know, stuff along those lines. They have a big heart-to-heart about, you know, King's past and everything. She says, I have no clue what you are. However, I know that you were found here. So maybe there's more evidence inside because there's a room up top that I can't reach. So they go back in, and lo and behold, there is in fact a room up top that Ida could not reach because this thing was, like, guarding it. So, I don't see any iron. Yeah, we're going back up. But, yeah. So, all of this happens, and they get back to, they get back inside, right? Like, they get there eventually. And, they devise this, like, entire plan to, like, get King, like, back up into that room. And, you know, like, Lilith and Hootie distract the thing, and, you know, like, and then, Luz, King, and Ida kind of book it upstairs. They get to, like, the front door and get inside the room, and the thing just, like, stops. It just kind of stops and stares. Like, it does not dare enter the room. So they finally get a chance to breathe, and they get to look around. You know, there's like a ton of drawings on the wall, and there's a little egg. And you know, King is like, this is where I was. Like, I remember being in that egg. And, they end up finding a little piece of a horn, somewhere. I don't remember where. But, King, like, puts it back on his head, because he had a broken horn. Like, I never really explained their physical appearances, but King has a broken horn, that's important. He puts, like, the little broken horn piece back on his head, and he just gets like a flood of memories back about like when he was a kid still in the egg. He remembers like there being an attack on that specific place, and someone like calling out to him saying like son, something along those lines, but he couldn't really understand what was going on, so he went back to bed. And he remembers hatching out of the egg, like crying and like trying to look for like anyone to like help him, right? So then he ends up falling down like to the bottom of this like tower from the top of the fucking finger, and the thing that had been chasing them was following him. So it turns out that thing is like a protector for King. And, you know, King, like, begs them to take it home. They take him home. He kind of shuts off. He couldn't survive outside of the area that he was in. But, you know, he's something to have. And, yeah. So, anyway, back to the person claiming to be King's father. So, King gets a letter basically saying, you know, when you're ready to come meet your, meet the rest of your family, you know, like, we're here. I promise. We got your message loud and clear. And, he's like, yo, we need to go, like, see these people. Like, they could know what happened to, like, my father. They could know my dad, you know, yada, yada, yada. So they eventually end up going, but it turns out that this island is on another one of the fingers, right? So, they have to take a boat, and they coincidentally take the boat from, one of the guys that they had met from the introduction of Hunter, you know, when they were on the pirate ship. They take his boat, to that island, and it's Luz, King, and Hootie, right? And, you know, they go there. King is, like immediately you can see the resemblance between King and the other people, like, on that island. And King is, like, blown away, like, you know, like, you guys are, like, my family, like, you know, like, he feels like he's finally regained a part of him that had been missing. He's, like, meeting everyone and talking to everyone. He's pretty damn happy about the entire situation. And, I'm trying to remember. Okay. Like, I'm trying to, like, put into words. So, King ends up, you know, like, playing around with these guys, like, talking to these guys. You know, like, he has, like, a good day of it. And, you know, they're told to go talk to, like, their group elder about, like, what the next steps would be for King. And they go through, and this old guy, you know, like, they call themselves the Titan Hunters, right? Like, he's like, I'm a Titan Hunter. That's what I am. This is my family. And he you know, he's like, we're told that there's one still out there, right? And he's gonna be the one to find it and kill it. And they talk about a formidable, like, screech this thing has, where it goes, wah, which is a new ability, that King has actually picked up, where he just goes, wah, and, like, a sonic boom shows up. Yeah. So they're immediately like, he isn't. And, Hootie ends up finding a room with a bunch of, like, artifacts. And, you know, then at that point, he really goes into detail about how he's gonna kill this last Titan. And, you know, he ends up finding out, this elder ends up finding out that King is a Titan. He's the last Titan, not the Titan Hunter. And they, you know, they try to kill him, obviously. And, they, like, Luz manages to pull him away at the last second. And, of course, he's, like, at first pretty pissed off. Like, you know, like, that's my family. What the hell are you doing? And, she explains, no, they're actually trying to kill you. So they all kind of run off the island and, like, seal the door behind them. You know, like, they break the other portal thing that teleported them to wherever the Titan trappers were. Titan hunters, whatever. And, King then finds out that he is a Titan. Right? But King finds out that he's a Titan. End of episode. The next important episode in chronological order that I can think of. So we start back at the school, right? We start back at the school, and I forget exactly what was going on at the time. Oh, yeah, I know. I remembered. So basically, someone from the Emperor's Coven showed up and basically said, you know, like, the Emperor's Coven is trying to force you all to join covens. So we're gonna put this, like, fake coven sigil on you so that he won't get suspicious, right? And, you know, like, that's, like, an entire thing. But Gus very quickly figures out this is, like, not real. Like, it's not. And, before all of this, I missed this. Before all of this, Gus somehow found his way into the old theater, right? Like their old, like, little, you know what I mean? Like the stage. And he found Hunter camping out up there. You know, like, he was just up there kind of hiding out, and he explains that he really had nowhere else to go, so that's where he went. And, you know, like, you can see in the, like, he had been researching, like, he had been researching Grimwalkers, he had been, like, researching, like, pretty much everything. Like, anything he could get his hands on, he was looking at it, you know, just to, like, make sure, you know, like, really trying to figure out what the fuck he was, because this caused a big identity crisis. However, he wasn't eating well, and Gus noticed that, so Gus handed him his, like, a lunch box, and basically said, you know, you're not gonna be able to hide out well when you can't even think straight because you're hungry. And he hands him his lunchbox. Anyway, so all this shit happens, right? The guy that was basically like, yeah, the Emperor's Coven's gonna, like, come here and, like, force you all to join covens. Like, yeah, that's actually my job. I was trying to manipulate you all. But, the people that were, supposed to be helping me with this really fucked this one over for me, huh? They really just cannot keep their illusions straight. Like, they're pretty shit. And you find out that this guy is the head of the Illusions Coven. Basically meaning this is gonna be an illusionist v. illusionist battle. So Gus has this problem, that whenever he gets, like, very stressed or very anxious, he can produce very, very strong illusions as a way to protect himself, right? So that's what he does. He produces a very strong illusion that covers the entire campus. And, you know, this guy is like, holy shit, this kid's powerful. We kind of, like, we need to get this kid, like, branded to a different coven, or he's gonna, like, outshine me, right? And, but first they have to figure out how to get through the illusion. And so, before he manages to get Gus, Hunter swoops in and drags him away. And so they're off trying to figure out what's going on. Like, Gus is like, why the fuck did you do anything? You're the Golden Guard. And he corrects him and says, Hunter, like, I'm not the Golden Guard. I don't even know what the hell I am anymore. Because obviously, you know, he's in the middle of an identity crisis. And they kind of go about, you know, having a conversation with each other, kind of, you know, making sure the other's okay, having a heart-to-heart. And, at the same time, Willow and Amity are going through the labyrinth that Gus has created. And, Amity's constantly trying to save Willow, thinking that Willow is still, like, that young little, like, pretty weak and frail witch that she was when they first met. like when they were kids. And, you know, that's just not who Willow is. Willow can easily take care of herself, but Amity just can't seem to get it through her head. So they're having that kind of arrangement. But after Willow proves that, you know, she's pretty damn strong and she knows what she's doing, especially around a battle, we cut back to Gus and Hunter, who find their way out of the illusion and are immediately caught by Willow. And Willow is like, you know, they're like, "Oh my God, you're okay." Like, what is he doing here? Talking to Hunter, and like Hunter's immediately caught off guard by her, and immediately sees that something is wrong. He very quickly finds out that that's not the real Willow. And he says that by, "Willow would never be afraid of me." So, I mean, it is kind of true. Like, Willow has never been afraid of Hunter. Like, very easily from their first interaction, Willow has never been afraid of Hunter. But that was the first, like, big tip. Like, that was the last tip for him, that this was not really Willow. And, so it's not the real Willow. What ends up happening is Gus is almost branded as like an abomination coven, and like basically sealing off his magic to only abominations. But what ends up happening is the others show up at the last minute to kind of like save Gus and everyone. But that was right after Hunter was basically taken out of commission because someone did an illusion and turned into Bellows, and he was immediately like scared shitless about it. Like, "Oh shit, Bellows found me." He didn't, but you know, it scared him enough that that's what he thought. So the others, you know, come and try to save him, like save like everybody else there. And when Hunter wakes up, because this part is told through Hunter's perspective, when Hunter wakes up, he's immediately freaked the fuck out. Like, what's going on? What happened? Like, what's going on? And the head principal, Principal Bump, his name is Bump, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned that, immediately says, you know, "You have a lot of explaining to do, Golden Guard. What are your people doing here?" And he very, like, rapidly, like, feeling like he's been accused of something, like, because he has been, is trying to explain, you know, like, he didn't bring them here. Like, he wasn't him. And, like, they don't really believe him at first. But, Willow vouches for him after, yeah, I do have all my shit. After he mentioned something about a breathing technique that Gus had shown him, even though, like, Willow was the first person to show it to Gus, just as like a, you know, like a anti-panic attack behavior strategy. She immediately vouches for him and says, "Yeah, I don't think this is him." And they're like, "Okay, then what do we do with him?" And Hunter and Willow both come up with a plan, and they manage to, you know, get everything figured out. So what ends up happening is Gus goes back into the gym. He casts an illusion over the gym, and Hunter is hiding inside, while the rest of them are all outside, and he basically is sitting there as bait. So what ends up happening is the head illusionist comes in and is like, you know, "You've caused more than enough damage, so it's time to fucking die." And, you know, they all just get jumped. You know, like, they all just get jumped. So they end up kicking everybody out. Whew, a village. And once everybody's gone, Hunter explains the entire situation about, like, the Day of Unity, about, like, um, about Belos and everything, and like how if you're a part of a coven, everyone's gonna fucking die. Make sure you upload this VOD. Sure, I'll do that. Wink, wink, sure. New people may find it helpful, sure. But anyway, so Gus and Hunter basically go about explaining, you know, everything. Like Gus basically having Hunter's back in this. After all of this, we come to find out that Lilith and Ida were driven out of the Owl House, right? Because like they've been forced to go into hiding, like just like because they were basically being hunted at that house. Like the Emperor's Coven knew where they were, so there was absolutely no way that they could hide. Very weird place to have a child. But yeah. So they have this random they're hiding in this random cave, right? And they can't exactly tell like where they are, simply because if they do, they could get found and immediately murked. So what ends up happening is they leave like a hidden message for Luz, King, and Hootie to find. They find the cave that they're hiding out in, and, you know, they tell the news that King is a Titan. And of course, you know, immediately Lilith is like, oh my god, this is like the best thing ever. Like, we must worship this little man. Even though King really wants things to stay the same. He doesn't really... He doesn't know how to feel about it yet. Because he's been living on the dead corpse of his father, right? So he doesn't really know how to feel about this, and he doesn't really want anything to change. But, fucking... Lilith, god damn, I forgot Lilith's name. Lilith doesn't really see it that way, and is like really trying to like, it's not the best place to be, and is like really like trying to like worship him, and he hates it and basically like storms off. Like, this is not like how my future is going to be. So he's like desperately trying to find some semblance of normalcy. And Ida is kind of like freaking out about not, you know, about the entire situation, about like everybody, like all of the kids, like Hootie, everyone. Because she's basically failed to keep them safe in her mind, and you know, that's fucking her up. So what ends up happening is Ida gets contacted by Rain, right? We're going into a bit of the meta territory here instead of me doing this like how the episode fully went. We're going backwards and forwards here, folks. So Ida gets contacted by Rain at some point, and they fake Ida turning herself in, basically. After they try to go in to steal some of King's stuff back. They go into a warehouse, right? And try to get some of King's old stuff back because he really, really needs something from the house. But they basically looted the entire place, so they can't go back. So they get some of King's stuff, as well as some of Ida's belongings. And, they basically get caught, you know, like they get caught stealing things because they get into a fight as, you know, Ida's like saying, you know, you'll have to go take care of King. I'm sorry I failed you twice type beat. And she's like, I'm not gonna let you sacrifice yourself for me or for King or for anyone. Like, you deserve better, yada yada yada. They both get sent off to the conformatorium or something along those lines. And when Luz gets out, she's immediately expecting to try and like beat the shit out of some coven guards. But that's not how this works. Because they had set this up as like a way to make it seem like they had been captured, but they weren't. And Rain had been the one to basically orchestrate the entire thing. And they have formed a new group with the same people as last time, just this time including Darius and Eberwolf, called the Cats. Called the Covens against the Covens against the Covens or something like that. Covens against the system. Let's go with that one. Ooh, another village. But something along those lines. Because, you know, they're no longer the bats, the bards against, you know, whatever the fuck they were against. I don't remember how the acronym went, but it's fine. So, yeah, they renamed themselves the Cats, and they're all kind of under the, they're in a different cave. And, you know, they're all trying to explain this shit, right? So, they're all safe. They're all getting, like, kind of, like, those two, at least, are getting transported to, other areas. Whether it's, you know, against their will or not is kind of up in the air. But, you know, they have a new area to, like, feel safe and secure in with, King and everyone else. With, Ida, Luz, and King hiding out with the Cats, and Lilith and Hootie kind of elsewhere as a way to, like, kind of, you know, if they find one of them, they won't find the others, you know what I mean? And, Ida, once they get settled in, presents Luz with a piece of palistrum wood. Again, like, Ida had offered it to her before, but she didn't really want to make it. But she's now re-offered this piece of, palistrum wood to Luz and says, you know, we can carve this tonight if you want to. And, you know, they do. They end up carving an egg. Well, Luz ends up carving an egg because she wants her talisman to be whatever it chooses to be, not what she chooses it to be for her. But they still need to come up with a plan against Belos, because that is still the number one issue here. So what they end up doing is orchestrating a plan for Ida to use magic to make herself look like Rain and take Rain's spot during the Day of Unity, right? So the entire spell will become cursed and weakened, and, you know, like, it'll pretty much ruin the entire spell, right? While, you know, like, everybody else is off doing their own thing, right? That is, like, the basics of the plan. Like, they did not want the children involved, anything. So that's the basics of the plan. However, Luz and crew get sidetracked because, you know, after all of this happens, they decide who best to leave Luz in charge with than all of her friends. So, we end up rejoining with Willow, Hunter, Gus, and Amity, all assigned to look after Luz, because Luz is going to do something and she'll need backup. But what they decide to do first is, well, one, collect Amity, because Amity had been grounded by her mother for trying to tell her father about the Day of Unity, and, you know, or tell one of them about it, but it didn't really work, and all three of the siblings were grounded. But yeah, that's the backstory for them trying to go get Amity. So what happens is they try to go get Amity, and, you know, they go get Amity, and King, I don't remember the exact chain of events, but King was dressed as a member of the guard, right? Because Kikimora had been demoted at this point to just like a driver, like a truck driver, instead of an actual like threat. But while they're loading off some of the new like blight tech or whatever, King and Alador, Amity's father, kind of sit down and talk. Like, Alador is, you know, just mostly complaining about life and about how, you know, he's kind of tired of doing his work for the Emperor, but it's not like he really has a choice in the matter. Kikimora joined the union. Yes, she did. She joined a truck drivers union. And, King then explains to him that there's not going to be a day after the Day of Unity. So if he has something to do, he needs to do it now. And of course, Alador is horrified by all of this and goes to confront his wife. And she basically says nothing. She knew the whole time that all of this was happening, but like the other Coven heads, she was promised like fame and fortune in this new world that Belos was trying to create. Completely negating the fact that it would kill this one. And, Alador ends up getting into a big fight with his wife. And, you know, he and the kids, end up getting bubbled, basically, by one of Alador's own contraptions. And, like, they get put into a bubble, right? And during that time, Gus and fucking Luz, God, come up with a plan to get Luz close to the, to Belos, right? Because they saw Kikimora was there and knew Kikimora would do anything to get her old glory back. And what would get her old glory back? What if she turned in Hunter? So, at the very last moment, Gus uses illusion magic to turn Luz into Hunter and Hunter into Luz. So, when it looks like Hunter starts making a scene, Kikimora ends up grabbing Luz, who looks like Hunter instead of the actual Hunter. And we don't figure this out until they've already taken care of, Amity's mother and everything, and they're already on the ship, and they're like, you know, Luz, this is gonna be okay. And Hunter's, of course, freaked the fuck out, and Gus explains the entire thing as, like, Hunter's, like, freaking the fuck out about it. And, you know, they have to figure out what they're doing. Because now Luz is gone to God knows where. They have no clue in what stage of the plan everything is. The Day of Unity is, like, hours away, and their two strongest fighters, who would be the only adult in this situation, and of course Hunter, are going to be out of commission when that happens. So they have to act fast. So what they do is they decide to head to the area where the Day of Unity is being held. Now, we cut back to, Rain and friends, right? We cut back to their group. So, Ida turns into Rain and gets a Coven sigil on her arm, right? Which is something Rain feels terrible about, because that's something Ida has been very strong against for forever. But, you know, she'll do anything if it means that her and her little found family will be safe. So, after she gets branded and gets turned into Rain, the plan is explained that Eberwolf and Darius will be right next to Rain in the Coven order, right? So if anything happens, they will literally be at Ida's side. And before Ida goes up, she has a little moment with Rain and Lilith of just saying, you know, like, if this is the last time I see you, you know, I love you both. You know, like one of those situations. And, she goes up there, and at the last minute, they changed the Coven list order. So now, God damn it. At the very last minute, Eberwolf and Darius are no longer next to Rain. Like, this was a very last minute decision, implying that they figured out their plan. So they're basically going haywire now while this whole thing starts. So, the Day of Unity starts, basically. But now we're gonna cut back to Luz. Luz is immediately brought before Belos by Kikimora saying, I have Hunter, you know, in case you'd want him, because, you know, I'm like, you know, I'm trying to be a good, like, foot soldier and all that from Kikimora's part. And Belos, now, like, basically thinking he's gonna get exactly what he wants, because this is, like, literally the final hours of his plan, basically tells Kikimora to her face, I never needed you. You're a worthless piece of shit. Go away. Go find a hole to die in, you know what I mean? And, you know, Kikimora leaves, to say the least. Kikimora leaves. And, is this where I started? That I should go. No, I didn't. Okay, we're good. But, yeah, Kikimora leaves for obvious reasons, and the bubble unpops, and instead of it being Hunter, like he expected, it was, of course, Luz. And Luz immediately goes in for an attack, but, of course, Belos is just much more powerful, and he reveals himself, you know, of course, finally, fully, physically, as Philip, you know, like, he pulls his hair back again, you know, he finally, like, you know, he drops the act fully and entirely. And, those two basically start to come to a standstill. And what ends up happening, I'm really trying to capture the events, like, I'm really trying to go by how I remember it. This is boring. What happens is, okay, I'm really trying to remember exactly what happens, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to remember exactly what happens. So take the exactness of anything I'm saying with a grain of salt. But what ends up happening is they get into a huge fucking fight, and I mean huge. You know, like, they are throwing each other across the room while trying to have this argument. Philip is trying to convince Luz to, you know, like, as a fellow human, join his side and everything. And Luz is like, I'd rather die. And of course, you know, his response is, then you shall perish. And, you know, it's a big back and forth thing between the two of them when it comes to this fight. Until Philip looks to finally have the upper hand, and Luz basically concedes. And you might be thinking, what the fuck, why is Luz conceding? You'll see. So, Luz concedes, right? And of course, Philip is like, you know, like, you're not gonna stop me from killing you at this point. And she then says, you know, the world has changed a lot since you were last there. You know, if you try to take over that world, you're gonna be like a fish out of water. You're not gonna be able to do anything. So I will be your new guide to this new world that you're gonna find yourself in. And Philip says, okay, and then takes her up on that offer. And, when they go to shake hands on it, fuck, I almost said Amity. Luz, burns him with the sigil marker. With the sigil of the Emperor's Coven. So when this Day of Unity starts, he will almost, like, he will basically be incapacitated as well. And, you know, that's like a big final one-over on him. But, you know, he ends up basically throwing her to the side and going to meet that plate from when we first had it, who we now know has a being called the Collector trapped inside of it, right? And, he takes the Collector to their spot for the Day of Unity, as well as, making sure things have gone in order with, the new arrangements for the head covens, you know what I mean? The coven heads. Luz ends up finding her way back to the group, right? And at this point, the Day of Unity, is, like, about to begin, right? And so she meets up with the others, and they're like, what happened? And they're like, you know, Belos is, like, gone berserk. Philip is, like, fucking insane. And, Philip ends up, as soon as the Day of Unity, starts, turning into this, like, giant goop monster. Like, the curse, from the beginning that Hunter was trying to fix has, like, finally fully taken over because of the sigil mark. And, cutting back to the coven heads. I'm really trying to get this all right, but I doubt it, because we're at the very, very end. Like, I'm finally done. Yeah, it's weird. They cut back to the coven heads, and, of course, Ida as Rain. It's very obvious to see that, you know, the curse is spreading. So they immediately jump Ida and, you know, pull her out of the ring and pull Rain in. So now Rain is actually, you know, going to be a part of the Day of Unity, whether he likes it or not. Like, he has been pulled back in right as it starts. So, you know, of course, Ida is, like, being, like, held back and, like, can't, like, move, right? Like, because she's, like, basically been conked out. And, like, once the other coven heads realize this shit really starts to hurt, they, like, ask Rain if, like, this is, like, a good thing, and he just shakes his head, like, no, this isn't what was supposed to happen, but you all had to go and fuck it up because you're selfish and pricks. And, you know, the Day of Unity has officially begun. People have, like, started to collapse due to the pain of all of this, as this spell basically drains everything. Like, every bit of magic from every person that holds a coven mark, right? Everyone that holds a sigil and has been branded. Cut back to Luz and everyone. They are now fighting this big-ass goop Belos. You know, like, they are getting flung around. Like, they are not doing okay. Hunter is able to put up a fight for a little bit. Need to do a binge watch with guests some weekend. Nah, I can't. I will get demonetized my ass out of hell. Watch it on your own time. I'm not risking my shit. Absolutely not. But anyway, they're fighting Belos. Hunter's managing to stand a chance. You know, and he's like, he goes back to his own old manipulation tactics when it comes to Hunter. Of, like, you know, the Titan has big things planned for you. Like, why couldn't you just trust me? And And when Hunter, you know, says, I don't trust you, when he has Flapjack in his hands, that just makes Bellows go even more berserk. Until, you know, like, of course, the Day of Unity, starts. And he's basically completely incapacitated. And, you know, Bellows Goop is just kind of, like, actively trying to murder people. But, in this disarray, before the Day of Unity started, Emperor Bellows, basically threw aside the plate that, the Collector was on. He promised the Collector he would free him, but didn't follow through with it, and ended up throwing the Collector, into a pit where he seems to throw all the other things that he doesn't like, as it has a ton of skeletons with a ton of old Golden Guard masks, meaning that is where he throws all of the bodies of the previous Golden Guards. But, yeah. So, they, King and, Kikimora finally giving up and giving in, tells King where to go and guides him to that area. Like, Kikimora, full well knowing what her fate would have been as a Golden Guard, says she wanted it because she wanted to feel like she was someone. Meaning she's just as traumatized as, like, everyone else, basically. And, King makes contact, right, and basically agrees to set him free. Right? So King sets this Collector guy free. And right as this Goop Bellows was about to beat the shit out of every single person that was left in our little ragtag group, the Collector pops in and is like, hey, what you playing? And, flings this man so hard against the wall, he quite literally turns into goop. Like, he is, like, actually, like, a booger on the wall. And he goes to try and do the same thing to, everybody else, and King immediately steps in and is like, no, if you kill any more people, we won't have enough players for a game. And he's like, oh, what kind of game? He's like, it's called the Owl House. And he's like, oh, how many players do you need? And he's like, we need everyone. We need everyone to play this game. And they're like, and all the others are like, oh yeah, I love this game. This is my favorite game. And the Collector, then he begs the Collector to stop the Day of Unity first, because if that happens, well, there won't be any players. So the Collector turns, like, basically goes, boop, and, like, pulls the sun forward in time. Like, literally just, like, you're there now. And Day of Unity over. And, the Collector... Ah! The coughing has started again. Oh no! Fuck. Anyway. The Collector basically starts to destroy the fabric of reality in the world. When he does that, the portal that, well, what point I don't have anymore. The portal, starts working, basically, to go back to the human world, right? Cause Bellows' original plan was to go through it and, like, merge the two worlds and become a hero, whatever, yada, yada, yada. So, what ends up happening, God, I say that a lot, it's fine. I think about 2 hours of, so what ends up happening is, you know, it's a bit late to say that. But, Luz ends up basically sending everyone else through it. leaving herself kind of all alone in the process. And they're all like, you know, like, they're all like trying to get to the portal because it'd be their only way out because the collector is actively destroying the area where they're currently standing. And if they were to stay there, they would die. So, you know, Luz is kind of like trying to keep the whole place together, trying to keep the ground together, trying to keep King with them. And, King very quickly, realizes he's not gonna be able to go with. And Luz is like, you know, like, you can't talk like that, you know, like, you're gonna come with me to the human world. And, you know, King basically sacrifices himself to, like, to go to the collector, he does, like, a whole wham thing again. And he sends everybody kind of flying back into the human realm right as the portal finally breaks apart due to it being so unstable, leaving everybody trapped in the human world. And, you know, what's Luz gonna do besides go home to her mom? So Luz takes them all back to her mom, and that's where season 2 ends. And that's where we're currently standing until at least the 15th. You're welcome. That was a whole 2 hours, by the way. A couple more, probably. I did not mean to stream this long, but you got me started, and I feel like that's not my fault. Guess you did watch it all? Yeah, I told you, season 3 is starting. Boots. Alright, we have some boots now, boys. Probably skip some episodes? Yeah, probably. But yeah, that's the entire plot of the Owl House. You're welcome. And with that, I'm ending. I did not mean to go this long, and I did not mean to get on that tangent, but I did. We're ending. I don't know why I closed the music, but I did. Hold on. Hold on. I don't know why I closed the music. I loaded too many chunks. The game's trying to kill me. There we go. There we go. Anyway, it was nice having you all out. I doubt anybody listened to that besides Harlock, but it's fine. I was supposed to end 2 hours ago. I only wanted to go to like an hour and maybe 45 minutes, but that's exactly when I got started on this shit. So it's not like I could stop. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. That has been the entire plot of the Owl House. You're welcome. Or at least the most important plot beats that I can remember. I definitely left out important details that would make context better. You know, like character building moments, yada yada yada, whatever. But yeah, that's been the entirety of the Owl House, summarized in about 2 hours. You're welcome. Hope you all have a great rest of your day, night, and or afternoon. Don't really care what time it is as long as it's great, because you all deserve it. And I'll see you all on Wednesday, where hopefully I'm not recapping the entirety of the Owl House. Bye, guys. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye-bye. Bye-bye-bye. Bye, guys. I have shit to do. Bye.